Hey everyone out there, and welcome to episode 5 of Edge of Legends. So awesome to see you back. As you might have seen in the recap video, there was a lot of explosions and poopies. And we're here to be adult people and not talk about explosions and poopies. But before we continue on with any of that, I want to make a quick shout out to Pie's very own Punch Crawl and the Dotty Network. I've been seeing on Twitter, unfortunately, guys are having some technical issues and feeling a little under the weather. I hope your players, hope your DM, and I hope your GM, and I hope your show gets better soon, and we can see you again and enjoy your content again very soon. So thank you, Paizo, for letting us know. And again, Punch Crawl and the Dotty Network. Get better soon, guys. We're all one big family. We love you so much. So before we go further on, let's do a quick introduction so everyone at home knows who's playing what and how they're playing it, I guess. Casey, let's get started with you.
Hello. I'm Casey. I play Matthias the Rogue. We both go by he, him, and we steal the cats and we do the stabs.
All right, stabbing and holding the cats. Ian, please tell us who you are, what your pronouns are, what your character is, and everything else.
I'm Ian. I play Woodwort and roll for Mush. We all go by he, him, they, or them is just fine. And I happen to be the party's hoochmonger / druid.
Very, very nice. Sidney.
Hi, I'm Sidney. I play Ilona, the half-elf cloistered cleric of Afra, who is amazing, and my pronouns are she, her.
Amy.
I'm getting better at this.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Amy. I play Eloise. She is an aberrant sorceress, and she is the little cute girl, and we both go by she, her.
All right, Michael Powell.
I am Michael Powell, and I play the fabulous Rufa, and I go by he, him, them, they, and yeah.
All right, very nice. Kylie.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I play Chionubis, the Elven Ranger, and we go by she, her, and let's see what trouble we can get into tonight.
For everyone at home, I'm the GM of this homebrew campaign, Edge of Legend. My name is PJ Megaw, as it says on my wonderful little graphic there. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing everyone else. All right, and that being stated, so last time where we left off, a last-ditch effort to fight the oncoming burning horde, or I guess survivors, of orcs, goblins, and hobgoblin broke out from the camp, and the heroes amazingly were triumphant. But now there's a gigantic fire in the middle of the forest at night, and this fire is roaring and raging, and that is where we start our scene live as the silhouette of these heroes and their vanquished foes is lit by a raging conflagration. So who goes first? Yep.
Can I use my investigator ability, observe exponentially, to check the surrounding area to see if I can find anything that could maybe stop the fire, and also anything that looks important that we might have to save from the fire?
Well, I will say this. You have yet to actually go into the camp that the fire is coming from.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you're still on the outside of the fire where all of them ran to you. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, as you're looking around, the only thing you see that could smother the fire would probably be more trees. And you don't have enough trees to smother that fire.
No! Is there a way through the fire towards the camp?
As you are looking, I'm not going to say it. As
I
looking
through the fire and flames.
So we carry on as we flames. You can see that basically the only way past them is to move through them. The conflagration is kind of mostly encircled it. It's almost a closed whole circle. There's a bit of a horseshoe to the left. So you guys are here. You have to kind of outflank the fire to go in.
No one has create water, do they?
Does our druid?
Looks at Druid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoochmonger.
I got to create hooch. But, no, I don't.
I think that would make things worse.
Yeah.
Izo, get on it. Create alcohol. Do it.
Yeah.
No, that would. Oh, the terror.
I'm just
Good
saying,
point.
with the amount
Why
of
is the fire getting bigger?
I'm gonna start kind of walking a little far away from the flames around to try to head towards the inside of the camp.
Okay. Anyone else going with her or trying to look for a way to put out this fire?
I will
I'll
continue
go with her.
my stroll.
What second, Michael? Was that Casey?
I will join in a leisurely stroll through the fire and flames, or
All
around
right.
the fire and flames.
Around.
All right. So far, we have Eloise, Matthias, and I believe Rufus said he was joining.
Yes.
Anyone else want to join them in walking into the on fire camp?
I'll join.
why
not?
Fire.
Are we all
Woodward will
gonna?
go with you guys. Yeah.
We're walking around to the side that's not on fire.
Gotcha.
You just have to go around the fire.
I will also do that.
All right. So it looks like everyone, and I'm just going to say Morel's going to follow you at the back of the party as you guys go around and go in the side. As you go into the ring of fire, and it burns this ring of fire. It burns.
Man.
Burns. Enough of puns. We're gonna get in trouble. So,
I don't want to get us striked.
As long
Yeah.
as it's 2 seconds, it's called sampling.
yeah, I think
Mm.
under 6 seconds, I think is parity, fair law. Anyway, fair use. So, you walk into the campfire. The night, the thick black veil of night is now heavy everywhere, and the only light visible is the burning orange rage of this fire that has spread across this entire campsite. And it's a massive campsite. Coming into it now, you can see this is easily big enough that it could have had a small unit barrack put here. You see wooden infrastructures collapsed and broken under the flame and the fire roaring. You see giant barrels. You see sleeping grounds, weapon racks, and a bunch of trees that are being prepped in a waiting stage, now on fire. And in the middle, standing, dead center in this entire camp, is what looks like the biggest orc you have ever seen. Not an orc of muscle, not some large boy who ate his extra protein and did his super push-ups. No. This is easily a 12-foot tall, probably 6.5 feet wide orc standing into the night sky, just standing there. Fire, maybe licking his skin, but having no effect, registering no pain and no fear as he's engulfed all over in the campsite in fire. He's impossible to miss, this bloody monolith, but you see him standing there. If you give me a perception check, I'll also give you some more details about this campsite.
Ooh.
The DC to beat,
Question.
please, is a 15. Yes, Kylie.
Does she know who, from many stories she's heard, does she know who this orc is?
I will tell you this, you have never seen an orc this size before.
I got 22.
Okay.
Right there.
19.
Thank you.
What are we adding again?
Perception
Perception.
check.
And is
Nat
he
20.
in the wow? Is he in the fire? Or is
The
the fire approaching him?
The fire is on him, like he himself is lit ablaze in small portions, and the fire's everywhere else around the room. So imagine
Is the fire.
he's like a candle, and the room is ablaze.
He is a candle in the wind.
23.
23. I heard a nat 20 from Kylie. What was your Sidney?
15.
15.
Chionubis knows his blood type.
So, really fast. Amy, what was your number again?
19.
Awesome. DC was 15. You all kicked the pants off of it. So as you look around this campsite, you realize something. The giant barrels that are all over this campsite have fire localized in them raging. And you can see these heavy, thick black fumes just chugging out of these barrels as it passes through the fire. And you are kind of easily putting two and two together that this, whatever liquid is in those barrels, is flammable. And thank God it is not compressed with any room for air or gas to be caught in the middle of it, because it would become extremely volatile and combustible, probably more so than the bomb that came running into this campground with would have made it be. So basically, you made a very big bada boom, and you ran it into a place full of accelerants. Thank God they were open air accelerants, or it would have been much worse. But that is kind of why the boom was much bigger than it should have been. So that's the answer to that question. But now the question is, who's that big dude and what was going on in this area? And the fire, of course, the never-ending fire.
Can I make like an occult check to see if it's like something to do with magic in the mind and taking over the body or something?
Give me an occult check on that, Amy. I like where you're going. Michael.
Does the big orc notice us?
Put a quick bookmark on that. Yes, Amy.
I got a nat 20
Hey.
in my lovely little
Two already.
DM dice. So it's
Ooh.
Oh, woo, look at us go on a roll.
So, Michael, remember... yeah, high five. Remember I said he is staring vacantly up at the sky, the night sky. He does not seem to be paying attention to anything. Well, I guess I should say they really know... It just looks like an orc. Kylie, do you have a question?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I thought I heard something.
Maybe he just ate a lot of green beans and just big old healthy boy.
Yeah, like I said, he eats a super protein and does his mega push-ups.
This is what happens when an orc gets a
Jolly.
hold of a salad.
Maybe the orc has the itis.
Yeah.
See, what we don't know is that the reason why they have an only protein diet is to give them a hand against us.
As soon as you give them a salad, then there's no way they could feed that army.
We should make a new book. If you give an orc a salad. So,
Yes.
Amy, you're critical.
Yes.
Because you got a critical success. I'm going to give you something good. So you're looking at this creature, and you are starting to realize something about this orc. There's a disconnect between the mind and the body. It's enough to make you think that this is not one entity. Something's at play here. Something possibly made this, sculpted this, and gave it some weird, distant personality.
Like someone made the orc is what it feels like.
Looking at this, it feels like you're almost looking at some sort of possessed abomination, some sort of construct given a consciousness separately.
I'm gonna walk a little forward to about right before there are flames to kind of look up at him and be like, "Hello, friend. Can you hear me?"
Franken orc.
I
I'm really
don't
excited
speak
about
orc.
this.
To be fair, I don't speak orc, but
The orc does not respond.
I'm gonna sidle up to Chionubis and whisper, "Is that champion Anakin?"
Wish I knew. I've never seen him in the flesh before.
Give me a lore check, history check, nature check. One of those three should do.
I'm going to whisper over the woodward. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes. Sorry.
Woodward-
Yes, Chionubis. Go ahead. Yeah, Woodward.
Woodward's gonna lean over to Matthias and go, "Y'all think you can fly?"
flying orcs.
Yes, I
Flying
do.
orcs.
Fly.
All right. So really
That's
fast.
a 14.
Okay. I'll say this. You've never met Champion Anakin, but you know that because he's a champion of the Blackspear tribe, that he would probably still resemble the height and size of the Blackspear tribe. Orcs are big, yeah, but they are not 12 feet tall.
Not this big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn to my little friend and be like, how do I make him my friend?
So weird. It's just never gonna be comfortable with this. It's just not.
So the voice inside your head responds. And it says, to make him your friend, you must take out his mind. For an ally is muscle, and might you'll find. Do not look for a soul this creature has not, but through wrath of the greens, you'll find destruction has wrought. Glip glip.
I'm going back with Casey's theory. Wrath of the Greens. It's back to a salad. he has the spinach.
It's the
rough beefy
roughage
guy now.
It's Popeye the Orc.
Yeah.
Just some orc like losing his mind in frenzy. He's like, Kale!
I'm gonna turn back to the rest of the party and be like, I don't think he's home right now.
Then perhaps maybe we should not disturb him. Maybe we could leave a note. As in, maybe we'll try again later, or not at all.
Don't you think it would be more fun to take him back to the city? If this is the thing that they were talking about, then we have one now. And if we're supposed to fight all these people who have one, why not stack the odds in our favor?
Yes, but if we put this monstrosity in the city, what if it decides it wants to knock over a building, perhaps? Or stomp a road? Anyone in particular?
I don't think he really has a want. I think he's kind of told what to do. I kind of reach my hand up, kind of like I want to pat the big guy on the leg, but I can't. It looks like, to me, that all these orcs and the goblins are trying to make their own orc and goblin sort of thing. I think he was just made and brought here. I don't think he really has the wants or a friend or anything really. And right now we're just letting this poor thing burn. Is that what a hero does?
Rufa is going to nudge Woodward and say, you know that bad feeling? It's about to get worse.
How far are we away from Corcos? Like us from Corcos? How far away are we?
Right now, you have no idea where Korokos is. All the information.
Sorry. That random orc. How far away are we from him?
Help me out.
Feet-wise?
Oh, you mean the tall guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As far as you want to be. He does not seem to be threatening you at all.
I'm gonna walk towards him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna call out in Orcish. What happened here? I was sent out on patrol. She has, of course, blood still covering her. So she's gonna say, I was sent out on patrol and I came back to see this fire. Do you know what happened? But like keep her distance, but still approach him.
Okay. Sounds like your audio is getting a little frizzy there, but we're back. What's up, Michael?
Yeah, is there something that looks like a commander's tent or something like that?
We'll get to that in a second. We're going to deal with Kylie's action first. So, Kylie, you say what you said to this giant orc. The who's just staring at the sky suddenly looks right down at you, eyes looking you dead in the face. And then suddenly you can hear the ground lurching as he slides one foot back and bends the knee in front of you. Even on one knee, he's taller than you by at least a head. And he looks to you, and in a deep voice, in a very old Orcish, He says, "You are not commanding officer. Fire came from small one. They all died and burned. I await orders." He slides his giant foot up, he stands up, and he looks into the sky like just, fire's okay. This is okay. Everything's fine.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Is he dying or bleeding?
If he's hurting, he doesn't show it.
Okay.
Tell him to come with us.
Yeah. I'm gonna sidle up next to Chionubis and be like, as much as the tiny octopus thing on little sweet girl's shoulder freaks me out, I think she might have a point. We don't know the motivation for this creature. We don't know its wants or needs, if it has wants or needs. But I feel it would be irresponsible of us to just let it stay here when maybe we could help it and bring it towards the light.
What she said.
From the distance, because I have not moved at all, you can hear a shout, "Does he want his fire put out?"
Are you
Like all the way in the back. I have not taken a single step forward. Absolutely not.
Absolutely fine. Are you shouting this to the massive orc, or is this kind of like for the whole room to hear?
I'm shouting it to the ones who decided to move towards it.
Yeah, can I do a medicine check
Nope.
to put out his fire? Or stop him if he's bleeding? It's my anathema to help things that are in pain.
No, absolutely. Although you cannot tell by any matter of the imagination that he's in pain. In fact, he spoke very calmly while on fire, so you think he's okay.
Fire hurts.
Fire bad. So I'll say this. Yes, I would love for you to put out the fire. No, I will not let medicine work for that. However, you can make a survival check. You can make any form of athletics check to try and use a surface to choke the fire with. Whatever skill you think you are suited to the task.
Definitely not athletics.
I'll assist her in whatever she chooses, since I'm over there also.
Awesome. It's going to be a survival check.
Okay, so for that, I roll and I add, or she just gets +1.
If you are, you're going to be rolling, and if it beats a certain DC, she's going to get the bonus 1.
Cool. What did you choose to do?
I did survival.
Survival. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Rufus is going to say out loud, perhaps we
16.
should have it stop, drop, and roll.
And thus the forest was destroyed. Not by a flame, but by a butt.
By a butt. Yes.
Big old orcish booty. So, what was your assistance check?
16.
Yeah, that's more than enough. You get a +1, Sidney.
Which makes it a 17.
Wow.
Perfect.
Woo!
You are able to put out the fire as far as your hands can reach. I will say that goes up to slightly above the waist. So from the shoulders up, he's still on fire and just kind of staring up at the sky.
I just see Eloise taking the hobgoblin shield that she still has, just kind of fanning wherever she's trying to put out the fire. Just
The fire doesn't.
It's bigger. Fanning.
Well, the fire does a thing where it like flickers and like
Yep.
tries to fight it, and it gets smaller, and then eventually you just absolutely suffocate, and the fire poofs off. But again, the upper half of this creature is still on fire. Going back to something Michael said earlier, asking about a command tent, you can see, at least what you think you can see in this fire, is that there is no official command tent. In fact, anyone who's curious about the infrastructure of this camp, give me a quick perception check to kind of think about things.
Can I roll again? Do I roll too?
Yeah.
Okay.
18 from Kylie. Because if you don't want to know, you don't
19.
have to roll. 19 from Kylie.
13.
13 from Atheus.
Eloise is distracted by the big tall orc.
17.
Woodwort got a 26.
Whoa.
I'll have to
Hey.
I'll have to translate this into woodworked. Sidney, what about you?
I got a 13.
Okay. So Casey and Sidney, looking around this area, you can still see the giant barrels that are still on fire and still chugging thick black smoke. And you can see the trees as they are destroyed and laying down. And you start to understand that these trees were being harvested from the forest and collected for a process of something. They're being used for something. Let's see, Rufa, what was your role again?
17.
17. You start to realize by these trees being very close to kind of the other wooden machinations around that these things are being harvested to create something specifically. And what you can see on the production line is that these trees are in the process of being turned into spears as a whole tree being turned into a spear. Chionubis, I'll give you a little bonus because you know Orc pretty well. You know that these giant barrels with the giant fumes and fire are actually a very special pitch, a tar pitch that black spear orcs use to coat their weapons with so that they have very, very good ambush ability, night fighting, and of course, one of the things that black spear orcs specialize in is ambushes and siege attacks. So because their weapons are painted black, it's very hard to see them at night. Couple that with the fact that this pitch tar is extremely flammable, and you have one horrendous problem. Now you make it the size of a house, and you have something extraordinarily worse. Everyone else doesn't see anything here that would look like any sort of infrastructure. It's just a giant square, fire, madness, and assembly. Woodwards, you are able to figure out, boy, those big tree spears, man, I tell you what, they are very big, and they must be hard to throw by just a little lonesome hand. So I bet this big fella here, what with that big strap and back and all, probably just overhand these chuckers and throw them like that over there. And I think you get some good wind behind it. You can probably easily scale a couple of cities, maybe even attack a town like Cobbledale. No problem, sure thing. T-bone them right in the soft spot with these buggers. Only problem is, though, you have to have some sort of mechanized flowing system of human body parts, and that's probably what the goblins were all for. Moving which way and whatnot, making things for this giant spear machine for a big boy to throw them.
Well, shoot. I mean, if they're already making spears for this thing, why don't we point it at another camp?
I mean,
I'm just saying, if it's gonna throw it, it might as well not be at the town.
I like this. Rufa likes this idea.
he liked to talk to Chionubis, so maybe she can tell him what his new orders are.
Or the new commanding officer.
That we don't know because that was an Orcish.
Yeah, no one knows that but Kylie.
Hey, Chionubis, tell him to simmer down and put that fire down up top.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We'll see how this goes. And like under her breath, she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I've commanded an army before. I can do this. I can do this." Okay. And she's gonna turn to the orc and say, "Your new orders are to put out these fires, and then we'll check for runes once you're done."
There's at the sky.
Hopefully.
He looks you right in the eyes. His back leg slides out, so he's down on one knee. Give me a diplomacy check.
Bring it on.
Can we assist her?
I was gonna say, can I try to look like a really obedient little goblin next to her? To look like a commanding officer of the orcs that he's seen already?
Now use that hero point to roll again.
Okay. And I will let Amy, for that amazing idea of trying to be a goblin, back her up, let her roll aid. Does anyone else want to roll aid? If so, please give me a way how you're aiding the situation.
Would this be a performance, a deception?
Deception for you, because you were pretending you were a goblin.
That's 21.
Damn.
Hey.
So that's definitely a +1.
So Kylie, you get a +1.
I'm trying to figure out if I should try to...
That's 17.
The only social skill I have to lend to this is intimidation.
Oh my god, do it. Do it.
Do it.
So I don't. Okay, great.
She-
I'm-
All right, before we do that though, how are you intimidating this big guy? You are literally a fifth to 10% of his size.
Yeah. You know what? Woodward hasn't seen any of the orcs use magic yet. So he's actually going to use one of his cantrips, which is, I believe Eloise has the same thing.
Maybe.
Electric arc. And he's going to have the electricity kind of trace in between his fingers and bounce back and forth in between his hands. And in the best menacing eyes that Woodward can give, looking through the lightning of his hands as he stares up at this thing, he says, "Now you listen to her, 'cause fire ain't your biggest problem, if you know what I'm saying."
And Emperor Woodward team for the kill.
I can
Oh
see
my
it
God.
now. I am the druid. All right.
Yes.
Druid. Just druid. Druid. Anyway, so that being stated, all right. So what was the roll on that intimidation check?
A 21.
Hey!
All right,
Yes.
It shouldn't
Kylie.
work.
This
but it will.
diplomacy. Hey, rules is written that this diplomacy check is now a +2.
Heck yes. +2 to all rolls.
Oh no, just this diplomacy check you're doing right now.
Oh, okay. That makes an 18. So 2 onto that.
Yeah,
That's
2 onto what
a-
you were rolled before.
19.
Nice. So, you have I'm sorry, but the mental image is making me laugh. You have Eloise doing her best goblin impression, which is just the most horrific thing. Like, it's terrifying and full of madness. You have Woodward, who is being emperor of the druids. Druids. And you are commanding this orc, this giant orc. And as he looks you in the eyes, he gets the order to put out the fire. He says, in orc, "You are not commanding officer, but imperative to keep unit alive is received." And with a giant hand, you just hear this loud smack as he literally just bare hands puts out raw fire, burning on his body out, just systematically. And then he slowly stands back up and starts looking around. This is not for damage, but I need everyone to make a reflex save. DC is going to be low. Just need you to beat a DC 10.
Reflex?
Mm-hmm.
27.
What was it, Casey?
27.
Dude. Yes.
I
got a
make
12.
the reflex saves that aren't dangerous.
Yeah. I got a 12, so I slid right over the top.
Sidney, what was your reflex?
13.
Hey, Amy.
12.
Nice. Marufa. I might be muted there, my buddy. Say it again.
22.
Nice. Kaylee.
15.
Oh no. Even
Tyler.
Kaylee.
Okay.
Kaylee's back. Table flip. Okay, so Kylie, you got above a 10. That's what matters. So he looks around. He sees the fire, and you see him kind of crack his neck, spit in both hands, arches his backwards back, and then claps as hard as he can. You see this giant burst, this wave of energy just ripple from his fingertips. Half of the forest fire is blown out by the wave, and the trees are collapsing. Like, he has saved the trees from the forest, but now has probably deforested like easily 10 trees, just ripped them right out of the ground. And he does that, gets his hands wrapped up, turns around, and this is where your reflex save comes in as he does it again. As the sonic boom emits, you're able to jump out of the way from the sound wave burst. None of you are deafened. None of you take any con damage as this boom goes off, and you're jumping out of the way in time. The other fire blows away. Some of the trees there also just uprooted in the explosion. You also see the barrels of pitch spill. Now, the fire is out. However, there's a piping hot chemical, a very combustible, flammable, piping hot liquid being exposed all over the ground. But the fire's put out for now, and with that order done, the orc about faces and just stares at the sky again.
I don't know how many more of these tricks we're going to get him to do.
You wanna ask him, like, who he answers to? If, like, does he wanna answer to you? Or is his, like, everyone's dead.
And you hear from the distance, did anyone see the coolest thing ever?
Yes, it was very cool, and I'm very glad we're all not dead.
In the background, you hear this voice. What? I can't hear anything.
I just
My ears
looked
are-
down at myself, like they didn't see it.
They
And
didn't see it.
You just see Morel, like, finger in his ear, like he's trying to dig something out, like, Mom.
Oh,
Mom.
Oh my
He did
God.
not make his reflex save. But anyway, so what's next?
Could Rufa be kind of poking around the rubble looking for anything that looks important?
Give me a perception check for something important. This will be a search action. As for you guys, do you have anything else to talk to the big bad orc about?
She's gonna look from where the voice came in the back from two others, aka Matthias and Morel, and then look back at the orc and say, "Who do you answer to? Are your orders from Korgos?" I'm just trying to get as information little by little.
All right, I will give you that drop in a second. Michael, is your roll for perception?
22.
22. Looking around, you see the same maps and orders in Orcish. However, these have more details put into them, basically stating that this map is an attack map of this location to Cobbledale, sort of cementing the idea that this entire placement, this entire unit's position was for the sole purpose of bombarding Cobbledale with siege spears. And from the looks of it, this is not the only unit within the map residency that has an attack position slated. The other one, the one that you remember from the map earlier, the new unit marked to the south, right there, right here, it is not, yeah, new unit, it's not positioned to attack Cobbledale, it's positioned to attack something further south. But it doesn't say what it is on the map.
Rufa's gonna quickly, as quick as he can, make kind of a copy of what he can in his notebook.
Sure. Basically just shows attack patterns. This unit is specifically for bombarding.
Even if he doesn't understand it, like if it's an Orcish or something, he just basically just copies what's written down, like a copy for copy.
Chionubis. The orc does the same thing he always does. His head comes from the sky, looks you dead in the eyes. His back leg slides and he bows the knee again, still hulks above you. And he looks to you and he says, "Unit designation Liotari. I report only to the General Lion."
What did he say?
She's gonna turn and be like, "I'm working on it."
Why are you yelling?
Morel's in the back going, "What?" Mop. Mop.
Well, just work faster.
Can I go over to where the fallen people that we fought are, or is that still behind? That's not behind fire anymore, right?
Clarification, you're talking about the guys you beat up last
Yeah.
episode. episode. Okay. Yeah, easily. The fire's put out now. You can walk back there to the corpses if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for any important insignia or something to like symbolize that someone is important.
All right. While you're doing that, Ian, I saw a finger up.
Yeah, I actually have 2 questions. Can I use a survival check? One to get like a range on distance, like seeing how far from if I know where we're at and I know where Cobbledale is, can I get a kind of a range of how far that is? I know it's a couple. I think it's a day's journey, is what we said.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as miles, roughly.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Using math.
I got an 18.
It's that good old calculus.
Geometry.
Yeah. Man, now I gotta do math. Give me a second.
Meanwhile, as Rufus finishing up his copies of the updated map, he's gonna shout over to the group, "Comrades, I have found something interesting."
So, really fast. You want that math, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between here and Cobbledale, 75 miles.
Okay. How far away, if we're looking at this map and the map we have, and then the map that we have from Rufa, does it look like the other camps are farther than 75 miles or closer?
Good question. Very good question. So I'll answer this and we can go into something else if we want to. So according to the map, I'm the map. So here is Cobbledale with the X. You are at new unit here. This was the camp previously. I believe I'm reading this correctly. Yes. So you could see camp, I think that's 3, is farther away. Probably equidistant, maybe a little farther. So it would be about a day and a half journey. This would be about another half-day journey to the other campsite. And then, of course, you have the HQ down here, which, again, about a day and a half journey, depending on how well you handle the terrain. And that is where the quarry is for Cobbledale. You can probably assume that the other unit, the other new unit that's facing the opposite direction for their assault, is approximately 2 days. Hold on, 2 days south. 2 days south.
Hey, y'all. I'm thinking maybe we try to get him to throw a spear at the camp that was under attack earlier. You know, the other one that we went by to see all the bad guys dead at. The other one that survived or didn't survive an explosion that we all may or may not have been involved in. We should see if he can throw a spear that far.
Couldn't hurt. Well, us.
Tell him it's been taken over. Taken over, that's it.
Question. I have group coercion. Right now it applies to 2 people. Can I double up on that and just cast it on one big guy?
What I would say is the spell of
Use 10
word
wood words.
10 would work.
is at least
Yeah,
7
we
word
did
words.
establish that.
Yeah. I didn't think episode 5 would be so much math and geometry.
I
So
just in my head, like, you see, Bush, if the spear is operating at terminal velocity,
Yeah, so you see here.
oh god, just explaining explaining hypotenuses to badgers makes me happy. So you can still use group coercion against one person, but it would still be at the basic benefit of the spell. It would not be enhanced because it's only one person.
Okay.
what if the person's really big?
Yeah.
Does it work? Go ahead.
What was
sorry.
it? No, what's that, Amy?
I was gonna say, does it work if they don't speak your language?
That's a very good question.
It doesn't say.
Well, we will
Yes.
confirm that in just a second. Yes, Michael.
Does these updated maps that I have kind of shine more light on any information on this other camp that we're talking about?
It's very rudimentary. You can tell these orders are kind of written in the school of shut up and do what you're told, as opposed to here's a whole bunch of information. So I don't know what that voice was. So what you're learning is
that's my great aunt.
That's basically King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, yeah.
that's more like this. Like, hey everyone, I'm basically Snagglepuss. All right, hold on.
Yes. I'm looking up group coercion.
Making Woodward's aunts a note right now. Okay,
Cousin
so yeah. So specifically speaking, you cannot see more details other than go here, attack here, from there, and they keep it very simple. And again, the other notes are basically saying like Chief Xanakin is watching, or I'm sorry, Champion Xanakin is walking, and all Chief Xanakin. Champion Xanakin is watching. Those are words. And that all the chiefs are...
You get a hero point.
Hey! No.
I'm gonna give it to the first boss fight you guys have.
Ouch.
Oh no.
So anyway, long story short, nothing new. It's just kind of reaffirming what you're learning, that this is definitely a plan of attack. It's been a bit. I want to make sure because I feel like I missed someone in the mix-up here.
Did I
Amy...
find any like important insignias or anything to signify important peoples?
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead and make me a quick roll.
Of what?
Perception. Or lore.
Just normal lore?
Just normal lore. Unless you have lore goblin or lore orc.
No. I have shadow plane.
Orc.
That's let's do a 22 for lore.
Right. From your experience growing up in a pirate city or the sail cities, you do know about the Welcome ahoy!
Ahoy!
You do know you have run into your fair share of goblins and very unique orcs, and you've seen on the horizon, though you never wanted to actually get boarded by them, basically the monster pirate city with the really awful dark flag, just the awkward metal pieces everywhere. From what you can tell, generally speaking, there's no insignia on these people to ever dictate leadership. Leadership is kind of inferred from action. You do know this about goblins. Goblins tend to listen to whatever goblin has the biggest hat in the room.
That is true. But none of these have hats, or none of the ones I saw had hats.
They have no hats. They're bare head bald tops. They have no hats. They're probably following orders from the hobgoblins because the hobgoblins they're always the one who herd these cats.
Gotcha. I'm gonna shout back to the group. Do you think if all of his friends are dead that he'll listen to us instead?
Well, not if we tell him about his friends.
I don't speak orc. Because if one of these guys is that guy, then that guy's gone.
So, is someone talking to the orc? Matthias, are you doing more awesome?
I have not moved from my spot. My arms are folded. Everyone missed my cool backflip that got some airtime, and I'm just observing and listening.
He's pouting in the background because he did a cool thing.
You see like Morel like facing his ear, and he kind of looks at you and he like pats you on the shoulder. He goes, "By the way, that backflip was real keen, mate. It was absolutely brilliant." Hey, am I shouting right now? I can't hear anything.
A little, yes. You will. Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry.
I've looked online, and I can't find anything on if group coercion works or doesn't work if they don't speak the same language as you.
Okay. Well,
I do have to say that I would understand if I was being coerced if somebody else was speaking a different language that I didn't understand. Just by body actions. I'm going to try to give you all the benefit of the doubt that I can. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I don't know if body action was... yeah.
The power of
Body
interpretive dance.
language is what I should have said.
Well, then what we're going to do is we're
Dance
just...
body poetry.
We are going to use it as is, and if there's no language that suggests that language is a factor, then we will go with our best choices in the moment. That being said, does anyone else have any questions or motives or actions?
I got one more question,
Yes.
which obviously in Orcish. Did you take any prisoners while you were here at camp?
The creature, his face docks out of the sky once more, looks at you, steps back, comes down on one knee, and he says, "We never had any orders to take survivors. By the order of the lion, they are all to be purged, killed, destroyed. Any that could elude such actions would be later caught and held ransom, or killed again. These are orders. We comply."
So much stress.
Is he our friend now?
Can Eloise, after like dropping the orc dude, after kind of looking around, can she go to wherever it looks like the goblin stayed and see if she sees any directions or any scribblings of madness that maybe make a little sense?
I'll give me a perception search test. Perception, basically.
So seek?
Seek, yes.
Cool,
Seek, search, find.
I get +2 to seeks.
Ooh, nice.
Aha. She seeks his.
Oh, Mr. Seeks, look at me.
That's a 21.
21. You can tell the way this camp was laid out, the goblins were pretty much encouraged to fall exactly where they were standing and sleep there.
Yep.
So they didn't really have any cover, housing, sleep. They didn't have blankets. They just literally run, doing what they were told until they'd stop and drop and they slept there. But you did see, with the chaos of these goblins, they would use their finger and they could like scratch into the wooden assembly line of these giant spear makers, little things. Mostly it was like goblin faces, like silly goblin faces, like tongue out, eyes wide, like ah, or like rude gestures, rude sayings in goblin. Especially to orcs and hobgoblins. No, they were chaotic little task monkeys, but that was about it.
Cool. Just wanted to see.
Yes, Sidney.
At this point in time, Alona is going to
What did you have in mind? I have a feeling he's not going to like it.
Well, even though I can't speak his language, because of where I came from, I do have a way with people and I understand basic psychology, which I assume is the basis of group coercion. So I was thinking if maybe I could talk you up and explain somehow to this gigantic orc that you are the new commanding officer, that maybe he will listen to you if it's a temporary order.
I tried that, but if you by all means want to try again, by all means.
At this point, I'm going to throw everything we've got at him because he seems like an empty shell of a person, and that makes me sad.
I have a feeling you're a helper.
Shucks. Okay. So how group coercion works, and this is the only explanation I can find online, is when you coerce, you can compare your intimidation check result to the will DCs of 2 targets instead of 1. Of course, I'm only using against 1, but I'm going to use the intimidation check against the will DC of this orc, which I hope is not high.
That's okay. So basically what it comes down to is I think the way that ability is supposed to work is that, like, let's say you are trying to intimidate a group of people.
Yeah.
And I think they intend for this to be something where, let's say you can't make this one person afraid, but the number might work on someone else's will DC. So you stand the benefit of maybe not intimidating your initial target, but intimidating a secondary target. The case will still stay with this guy, so go ahead and roll what you want to roll, and I will make it against his will DC.
Okay.
Do you want aid? Can I
Don't forget
aid?
the lightning fingers.
Everybody aid me, please!
Give her AIDS.
I said, do you got evil wife? Alright.
Amy's gone. She was like,
Just,
can't
oh
take
my
this.
gosh. Why did I
Okay.
choose this?
Math. That is... I got so good at math over the past week, but I can't add 8 and 6. Why not?
14.
Well,
I was gonna say 14?
8s
Yeah.
and 6s. Sorry. 8s and
Eight
6s.
sixes?
It's an 18 plus a 6 for
That's
intimidation.
6. That's
24.
32.
32?
Oh.
8,
What?
16
32?
plus 8?
Yes.
What?
Oh,
Plus
16
8.
plus 8. Don't listen to me.
I mean, I'll go with the 32. Hell yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
it's-
98.
really fast, 24. But who's rolling aid to help this check? So,
Yes.
Michael, what was your roll to aid? You might be muted.
Got a 21.
21.
Cool. 21. Oh, I figured it was 21, but I want to make sure the world can hear his voice. Ian, did you make a roll to aid?
Nope.
Nope. Excellent. Amy, did you make a roll to aid?
Yeah, Eloise is gonna run up and go, rah! Because that's what she's seen done with shields. You run up to people and you scream.
Yeah, you're not
That-
wrong.
That's what she saw. You know, that's what she knows. Ooh, that was a nat 20
Wow.
Hey.
on
That's
my
3 tonight.
metal dice this time.
Yeah.
That's number 3.
Wow.
We got the hat trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kylie, are you rolling an aid check?
Yes. She's gonna stand there, cross her arms, and look as intimidating as possible. Like she mean business.
You
Oh,
want to talk to the manager.
All right.
Ooh, that's
one
a-
second, Michael.
Okay.
What's that?
14.
Okay. So, Michael, what was your hand raised for?
I think I was muted when I said what I'm using my aid for.
It was for
legal lore.
Sidney or
For Sidney.
legal lore.
Legal lore.
Got it. All right.
Eagle lore.
So we have a nat 20, 21, and a 14. So what I will say is, and I'm not going to tell you how this math came to be, but Sidney, that roll gets a +3 to it, which makes it a 27. And
Ooh.
the beautiful
Yells
part
objection really loud. Objection.
and the beautiful thing about this check is that it is now a critical success.
Yay!
Yes.
Our first one.
Lawyered.
Yay!
So, so tell me again what you are saying, Sidney. You're doing, I should say,
Okay.
body or voice.
So since I can't speak his language, I'm going to stand as emphatic as I possibly can and say, do I know that he talked about the lion?
Probably not, unless Chionubis
Yeah.
told you.
No, she didn't. That's
Okay.
like the
He
secret.
did not. Okay, darn. That was going to be
My
cute.
bad.
But anyway, all right. So I'm going to like pantomime as good as I can to him. I'm going to say, okay, like, oh, I imagine, do you remember Chris Farley in the Van Down by the River sketch?
Yes.
I imagine that's what she's like trying to do and be inspiring and yell loud things to try and emphatically convince him that living in a van down by the river.
In a wagon down by the river.
The fire's gonna be in your insides.
I guess I'm just seeing like Ilona like constantly adjusting a belt that's not there.
Throw the spear.
So basically, she's gonna say, so what you're gonna want to do to not end up in a trailer or a cart down by the river is you're gonna want to listen to your new commanding officer, who is this lady here called Chionubis. She's your new commanding officer. She is cool. You should pay attention to her and not do drugs.
I think I am required by the laws of these United States to give Sidney a hero point for that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Throwing 0 points on the stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like throw them. So, as you do your big speech, and you're basically like Will Smith on the red carpet, you're like, this orc who's looking up at the sky, you can see his ear twitching as he's responding. He locks eyes with Chionubis again, slides that back knee out, down to the ground, makes a giant fist bigger than your torso, slams it into the earth, and he looks her dead in the eye and says, Unit Leon Tori reporting for duty, Commander Korokos. How can Unit Leon Tori respond? And I want to note here...
Hold on a second.
He called you Korokos.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, wait, you got a new name, my friend.
Wait. Whoa.
Maybe it's a moniker.
It's just a title. I wonder if it's just a title.
Oh.
I will finally approach, walk over and say, good work.
It could be like Dread Pirate.
Chionubis is gonna like lean over to Ilona and be like, it worked. What do you want me to say? She's like, I don't know what to do now.
Throw the spear! Get him to chuck a tree!
Yeah.
Tree chuck it!
Let's test his abilities. Tell him that you are doing a peer review. And he's being tested for his skill to see if the fire affected his abilities.
This is some Cyrano de Bergerac we've got going on here.
She's gonna be like, yeah. Like pinch the bridge in her nose. She's like, yeah, okay. She's gonna paraphrase this more aggressively as an orcish, like an orc would do, rather than like, we should just like test your abilities. She's gonna be like, show me what you can do. I want to know every inch of your abilities. If you hide anything, I will know it. So please. She's gonna like gesture on.
I love commanding Chionubis.
Before...
I'm just
continue, Sidney. What you're saying?
no, just thinking of the Rick and Morty heads. Show us what you got.
I feel like we should be a little bit more specific before he goes, I'm very good at destroying Cobbledale, and picks up one of those trees and just starts hucking more lances at it. I feel like we should be, just don't show us what you're good at. Show us what you're good at in that direction.
I'm very glad everyone mentioned that, because my instinct, this character's reaction is this Unit Leontari. He says to you, give me a target.
Big wrinkle brain.
Hey,
And he's
Morale.
usually awaiting an order on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would you mind standing here for a second?
Morel quickly puts 2 and 2 together, gets 4, and he's like, you can see him just. He gets his shield out, and he's like, "Why are you doing this? This is stupid. Why are you doing this?" Because she asked. I know, and you're being a moron. He walks up. He looks to you like, I know you're playing me, but I can't say no. So he just kind of like strikes the most defensive stance he has, puts all of his weight on his back leg, and he's like, "Yep, no, I'm ready."
She's gonna like look at Morel, just like deadpan face, like no emotion, and without breaking eye contact. In Orcish, she's gonna say, kill him or mortally wound him, and I will kill you myself.
The orc is still on bended, like 3-point stance. Looks to you, looks to Morel, furrows his brow, reaches off blindly, grabs a tree, turns it around, point down. Ugh.
This is the end of Morel.
Doesn't crit.
I said if he killed him or mortally wounded him.
Takes it and just goes, boom! Stakes Morel 6 feet in the dirt.
No!
You see nothing but a crater with this giant tree now replanted in the spot Morel was just at.
Behind you, you hear, yes!
Alona looks at Chionubis and she's like, that's not what I meant!
I literally rafflecopter.
I don't know if this matters or not, but he's at dying 1.
And Eloise
She's
is
gonna
walk
put a hand up.
End of the crater, just look in.
Rufa nudges Woodward again. Yep, that feeling. Worse and worse.
So what was Amy doing? What was Sidney doing? What was Kylie doing?
Eloise is going to the edge of the crater and kind of looking down to see if, like, there is any morale left.
So when the tree is pulled out of the ground, you see Morel is in the crater with a giant indent into his armor and blood seeping into the crater he is in. His shield is concave, and his body is still there.
I turn around to the group and I'm like, I've seen something like this before, and they never got back up, so we tossed them into the ocean. Are we going to toss Morel into the ocean?
No.
Can I have a
No.
shield?
No, Alona's mad dash.
Yes.
Hang on. Let's discuss this.
Shut up, Maithians!
Like, let's discuss this very slowly. The longer, the better.
Chionubis is gonna put a hand up to stop the Otari. Say, that's enough? How fast can you run?
He gets up and he says, "Give me a target."
In the crater.
How fast can you
Just
turn this
cannonball.
NPC into MP dust? Okay, really fast. So since Sidney, I can tell, is dying to heal this guy, and we're no longer eviscerating a corpse, do you want to cast a heal or a medicine check or something?
I'm gonna cast Stabilize.
Okay.
My bad.
Which is they lose their dying condition but still have 0 HP. So I'm gonna cast that on him so he's no longer dying. Please.
As you cast that, you see fresh, kind of glistening blood pooling behind him eventually slow down. The almost like how you see a river stop running. You see the blood staining his tunic and armor stops. It's constant growth, and you see the slight bend in his armor kind of pop back out, as you can hear what can only be imagined as the bones of his ribs resetting and probably one of his lungs patching. And he's there kind of... and he's unconscious. He's alive, but he is very unconscious.
I'm
We're gonna have to carry him back.
I'm gonna put a hand on
So we got this big guy.
shoulder. I'm gonna put a hand on her shoulder and say, "That, my friend, is worthy of a boat."
Way.
You got a boat.
Did
Right.
Cherry was supposed to have one?
Oh no?
All right, so back to Chionubis and Leontari. So he's asking for a target to run to.
Yeah. What is there like a hill? Like she can see past all these trees? Is there like a significant landmark?
So you see slightly up a hill a bit is Cobbledale, but everything else is kind of flat forest until you start noticing there is a significant kind of downhill into where the quarry would be. So moving up a hill to Cobbledale, the other two camps, or the other camp I should say, that you haven't gone to yet, is on this kind of flat level. And then going down a bit, you get to the quarry as well as the other unit.
Don't know if you want to send him back to all of his people, unless you want to tell him that they're no longer his people.
She's gonna look from Eloise to Matthias after that whole conversation and says, we could send him as a spy.
Well.
And she looks at the rest of the group eh?
How do we get the information from him? I think it's really obvious when he comes back to us.
But orcs tend to go on scouting missions alone. I think. They're big enough. They're big enough to go on one alone.
I mean, we could tell him to kind of start destroying it from the inside. No?
Definitely an option.
Well, shoot, we're not going to get too much farther down the bad ideal trail when the first thing we did was hit Morel with it. So we might as well
He's
just throw him with
armored,
something else
he has
and
a
see what the
shield.
hell happens. You could have had him touch a tree. You could have had him chuck a spear. We all want to see him chuck the spear. And you aimed him at a guy. Just a guy.
He is the most armored out of us all. He's going to be fine. He is going to be fine. See, she's healing him. He's fine.
Fine, it's relative.
He's breathing, isn't he?
Psychological damage is a form of pain.
Well, then I will ask, what is it exactly that you're proposing? As far as being a spy, no offense, does he have the capacity to go against his cohorts?
That's a good point. Do you think that he's actually loyal enough that if he went back to an orc camp and actually saw whoever it is that is actually his commanding officer, that he wouldn't just revert back?
Always a possibility.
He's loyal enough to chuck a spear.
I mean, we also have a bunch of these barrels of stuff that's probably exploding. We could have him bring all of that really close and then chuck that into a camp. Exploding stuff has really worked well for me, and I really think that it's something we should continue.
It is something that has worked for you.
Let's take the big...
really fast, sorry.
Sorry, go for it.
No, you're fine, I just want to point out Michael had his hand raised. What was that?
I was going to say, Rufa just kind of suggests perhaps a handler of some type. Perhaps disguise one of us to look orcish or goblinish or something. A disguise.
The only person that'll pass is the little one, because she speaks Goblin. As soon as they realize one of you don't speak their language, they're gonna know that there's something wrong.
Then perhaps we disguise the little one.
I mean, I get mistaken for a goblin a lot. It's actually kind of rude, but I. So, what are you asking me to do? Escort yon giant into yon camp of also a giant and also all of the other orcs and goblins?
Or at least outskirts or so.
But
to assess the danger of it. And
will he listen to me? I don't speak orc.
Perhaps our friend Chionubis here could maybe put up together a list of command words or something.
Turn this guy into an
Move
ass.
here now.
We're just gonna have ourselves a 12-foot winter soldier.
An instruction manual of sorts.
Instruction manual.
L1, R1, L2, R2. Come on.
I'm imagining this turning into like a Voltron moment real fast.
Yes.
Oh, you could ride him. Eloise
Yeah,
could
that's
ride on
that's
his
very
shoulder.
true. That just crossed my mind.
Like
could
Treebeard
compare really
and the Hobbits.
Yes, except with more destruction.
Way more
Tell that
destruction.
to
I don't
Isengard.
know. I know. Yeah.
If he was still on fire, he could just put his head down.
Taking the halfling
Taking
to
the Hobbit to
camp.
Isengard.
So
It's Hobbit.
you want me?
It's
So let me get this straight. You want me to take this big guy and go to the camp and do what?
Chionubis is gonna look at Rufa, like, yeah, and do what?
As
Well,
I
shoot,
said,
don't look at me like that. Your idea was punch Morel.
It worked, did it not?
And
Now we
so
know how
far,
strong he
still
is.
has my vote.
While this is going on, can Alona heal Morel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I'm gonna cast Rebuke Death on Morel.
I was gonna say, give it a little bit more time, you might get a short rest out of it.
I considered that.
Yeah. All right.
So, like, we can-
3d6 of HP.
We can take him to the outskirts, kind of like we did here, and have him carry all of the bomb stuff and then blow up the other camp
yes,
and hopefully
true.
destroy the other one of him. But that doesn't really require me to do anything. It just tells us to tell him to go do that. I mean, I'm down with trying to sneak into an orc camp and like bonding with these goblins. It'll be just like the good old days, but also with this guy and also with, you know, there's no boat to jump off of to escape. Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
Question, PJ.
Yes, answer.
Would Chionubis know like the level of how the generals work for an orc, like military, like ranking wise?
You know
Like-
that there is never been a general in orc military infrastructure. It's chiefs and champions and just a bunch of meat. The fact that there's a general Korokus who's giving commands, extremely new.
Mm.
So she hasn't played Shadow of War and is familiar with the Nemesis system. That's what.
Hey, Chionubis. Ask him what his last commander looked like.
She's gonna turn. What did your last commander look like?
So the orc who is standing waiting for a target to run to says, "My last commanding officer was General Korokos, given to me by Ka Mengelma, crafter of things. First thing I saw, I was introduced to General Korokos. I was bonded, given my command and orders, and then I marched here, and I have been here ever since."
Oh,
March
he's like
from
a
where?
baby duck.
I'm gonna lean to.
Korokos was his
her ear.
mama.
What did he say? Go on, hot bus.
She's gonna repeat everything that he just said to her, to Matthias, and where he was last stationed.
Interesting.
Really
But-
fast. Sidney, how much are you healing poor broken Morel?
Well, what I'm healing him 9 points, and I'm going to kneel down and look into the pit where the spear is, and I'm going to send a little vine, little roots down with a little passion flower, just to like kind of boop him on the head, and he gets 9 points of health back, and hopefully he has enough strength to dislodge that spear from his wherever it is.
Well, thankfully, the giant orc pulled the spear out a little bit.
Oh, good.
So like it's no longer in his chest cavity. When you heal him, you see this kind of glow in his eyes. When he opens his eyes, the bright golden glow and the purple flower, passion flower sunbursts coming out as he and you hear him saying something in Akkadian. It's a very thick accent, and then he kind of shakes it off, takes a deep breath. And he sees you, does a gentle wave and like a little salute, and goes, "Thank you, Mom. I'm guys whole now." And he just starts like taking his broken shield in his back and starts climbing out of this 6-foot ditch. So, Chionubis, because he's alive now with 9 HP. Chionubis, you were saying you were telling Matthias all about where this guy came from what he told you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any other questions to give Leon Tari?
I'm gonna wander over and be like, so, like I said before, he was made. So, like, it's kind of like having a doll, but then the doll becomes the person. And the thing is, like, if we let all these people keep making these, they have the power somehow to put enough of a conscience and a I don't know, like a soul, I guess, into this inanimate object that they made. They're making him. They're making all of these. So we can destroy these camps, but we also just need to make sure that we figure out who's making them. Because otherwise, destroying the camps won't mean anything if whoever's making them and the ways to make them aren't there.
But how are they making them? How do you just poof an orc's brain out of his mind? Like, brain out of his mind? How do you just poof an orc's mind away?
Well,
Just create it.
what's the guy's name? The creator's name? Do we know his name, right? Because she told us. Did you tell us?
She said she
don't think I
explained
know.
everything to
Okay.
yeah, because the guy said it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, this creator of things is somehow out there, and we should get to the bottom of it, absolutely, because someone's playing God and creating monsters, and that doesn't bode well for anybody.
Really fast, and I'll answer Michael's hand raise just a second. You would know something, Amy. At least I would say your ear would pick up on something. When he mentioned the name of the person who made him, Ka Manglemaw, you know that Ka is not a name, it's a title in Goblin. Meaning, basically what it translates to is big thinker, makey person.
Gotcha.
Or like a doctor, in a way. Doctor, scientist, alchemist. Ka is like this really weird title that is very flexible because goblins don't like to have their labels pinned down. They kind of want to use them at random. Yeah, like, why do we got to put a label on it? I'm a mad scientist. Like, can we just appreciate my mad science? Yeah. So, that being said, so Ka Manglemaw, you kind of understand that his name is Manglemaw, and he is a Ka, or he is a, smart brain makey person. Michael, what was your question?
Actually, I got two things I want to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, I want to see if could I roll a underworld lore to see if I know anything that's something similar to this occurrence, something that I know, because it just seems illegal. It seems illegal somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I know anything that's similar to this that has happened before?
I will give you this, that you know that there have been attempts to do something like this with humans. But so far, the only thing that's ever truly latched on is necromancy, and everyone can spot a necromantic thing right away. This is not necromancy.
Okay. So no roll required.
No, you know just from your experience,
Okay.
like, nah. And what's the other one?
The second one is Rufa's going to basically say, that is one of the reasons why I feel we should send Handler, a little girl, into the camp. For we need information, and perhaps they have notes and maps and such that would be helpful to this task. Holding up the notes and everything that they've collected so far.
So, if I'm understanding everything right, our goals are find out where the creator of these big gigantic orcs is so we can stop him so they stop creating more gigantic orcs. And also gain more information from the other camps in general to stop the other camps from attacking everybody else in Emery.
And yes, quite so.
Now, you mentioned, little one, that it was made, perhaps it was something alchemical. Is there anything I can check to see if it's strictly alchemy based?
Absolutely. Do you have lore alchemy or craft alchemy, any alchemy or arcana?
Not yet. Not yet. But
That's fair.
yeah.
Totally fair. Okay, so in lieu of that, we're gonna do your choice: lore, craft, or arcana untrained. So it's just the D20 plus the stat bonus.
Okay.
Can I aid him by just telling him about all of the weird, spooky, kind of like mind weird stuff that I thought of or I gleamed the first time?
Yeah, give me an occult roll for the bonus. Yes,
Can
Michael.
I aid him as well by telling him what I know from my underworld thing?
Yeah, give me an underworld check. Does anyone else want to help Matthias kind of alchemy this thing?
Please send help.
That was a 22 in occult.
Okay.
Help.
I got a nat 20.
Woo!
Damn.
That's a lot for this game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's number
right?
4.
We really need like a sound effect for whenever we get it.
I have not rolled one yet.
In a while.
I have not rolled one in this campaign.
What was your roll there, Casey? Before I tell you what.
So I am currently I'll say crafting. I currently have a 13 before anyone adds anything on. So.
Okay.
Yeah, my
So
total
I'll
will
give
be
you-
27.
I got all the maths up here.
So I'm going to take plus 14 from Michael, maybe. And
I'm just gonna take your 20 and your 20, get a
put it
40.
on. Where that?
So you're looking at this body and you're trying to figure out if it's alchemy, how alchemy can make it a thing, so forth and so on. Your time in New Jack City, you do recall a very special project kind of being talked about at some of the major technical industries, especially Emmerich Industries. And you do remember a project where there was potential for, in a medical sense, dead tissue to be amassed, conformed, changed, and put into a new form. And basically be given anima, lifeblood, pumping heart, but it was just a rumor. It was like a horrible story, but maybe you saw some things that kind of tipped you off that maybe this horrible nightmare, this horror story might be closer to reality than you think. And looking at this body, you may not know any methodology to do this, but it starts to stand up to reason that maybe this body could have been compiled, manufactured, or something through a greater understanding of alchemy, perhaps even the greatest understanding of alchemy.
So I'll take in what the two of you say. Now, I cannot be certain, but where I trained, there were rumors. I'm afraid that's all that they are. That such a thing is possible, and perhaps this fine friend of ours could be an amalgamation of perhaps alchemical proportions in that, well, to be quite honest, it could be many orcs put together scientifically, chemically, and naturally. Largely.
Chionubis, you hear this old, deep, ancient orc voice repeat. Leotari requires target.
Oh, that's right.
Let's not make him mad.
So,
And it's almost like you talking about this creature as this kind of made it go, right, I am under review. Give me a target.
so where did he say that he came from, Chionubis?
Ooh. Where did my notes go? I don't know if I wrote that down. My bad.
That's all right. I'll give you a brief reminder. His only memories were basically waking up at the behest of his, what he calls, Mengelmaw, and that he was given his first orders and bonded to General Korokos. After that, he was immediately marched to this location for his first order. He doesn't really have any other names or locations, just that this is the only target he's had. This is his first target.
So should we find out if where he came from and where his maker is nearby? Because if they made him nearby, then we might be able to nip it in the bud now, versus if they brought him here on a ship or something.
Well, if I may, I do have a thought. Rufus, sir, I do believe you mentioned the idea of us going in. Perhaps it could be, or at least this creator that is mentioned, perhaps it could be in these headquarters. I imagine if they're going to perform such an alchemical motion or notion, that it would need a lot of supplies. And in my limited experience, you will need a laboratory of some sort. So,
True.
I believe that could possibly be the location.
True. And if there is laboratory, that means it will be notes. And if this is magical in nature, a spell book of some kind, perhaps. And yes, and also, usually troops talk. So perhaps if goblins have loose lips, perhaps they let something slip.
Well, alchemy and magic are two... Never mind.
They both require notes.
Yeah, goblins aren't always the best at writing down the stuff. They kind of tell each other what to do, and then sometimes maybe there's a note, but sometimes it's here is the big stick drawing of Big Stick Man, and then here is the jar in which we put the stuff to make the Big Stick Man.
True, but this seems complex. Complex enough to warrant notes.
And not goblins, unless it is a simple menial task.
Yes, where is thing A and thing B? Location A, location B.
Either way, it seems imperative that we get to the headquarters, which are in the quarry, I do believe. We should at least start making our way there, because I don't think there's any new units in the area that are posing direct threats to Cobbledale. And either way, whether we get notes or we attack them straight out, we should make our way there.
Are they going to notice this big guy walking towards them?
Well, I think they're far enough away that we can handle, hiding him the closer that we get.
If indeed this is the location of its creation, I imagine that they will be wondering why it has returned, and nearly alone.
Can't we ask him to lead us to where he was made instead of guessing?
That
is a turn.
I do expect questions to be asked.
My only worry about this is once it encounters its masters again, it would fall under their control again and be used against us.
I mean, he doesn't have to go in the place. He just has to take us to the outskirts of it.
True.
Really fast, Matthias. I think you were trying to say something. What was the rest of that?
I think I was mostly done, but I will look to Eloise and say, now, you will need to take care of this. No one is going to feed it for you. It will be your responsibility.
I've done that for myself for 11 whole years.
Well, by your charge, and
Am I going alone? I can't quite tell.
No, but
I think
Are we going
we
to
should
be,
go
out of character?
together.
Oh, one second. Kylie, please continue.
I think that we should all go together, and the closer we get, we hang back and reevaluate the plan.
I mean, I can go jump in a mud puddle and then I'm pretty much a goblin straight through.
Maybe we can find a mud puddle that's closer so we're all together if something happens.
I mean, that's fine. There's mud everywhere. We can make mud.
Michael?
I'm wondering, because Rufa is a performer, he knows some rudimentary makeup tips. If he could use like berries and dyes and stuff to perhaps make kind of a rudimentary disguise for Eloise.
Of course you can make a disguise check. I guess the question is, Eloise, would you rather have a disguise check or do you want to just jump in the mud? It's your call.
We can try a disguise. That's fine.
Okay.
But I guess like we should collect stuff to make it on the way, because I don't want it to get ruined before we get there.
Extremely fair. So here's what we're going to do. Let's decide where we're going, where we're taking Leontari. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have you guys make survival checks for the resources, which later will give you bonuses to your disguise check.
Ooh.
Cool.
All right.
Would nature also help?
Yeah, I'll give you nature.
So are we going straight to the headquarters, or are we asking him to take us to your maker?
pretty much. Oh, dang. All right.
Well, I think at this point, whether we go straight to the camp or we ask him about taking us to our maker is up to Chionubis, since she's the only one that speaks work.
It's true.
I get a 24 on survival.
Nice.
Okay.
I mean, it could be the same place.
Kaylee's back.
No,
Oh,
not
no.
Kaylee.
Kaylee's back!
Kaylee, the robot doppelganger. So what was that, Kylie?
No,
Okay.
She's frozen.
It's okay. We will get her back in just a second. So while we're waiting for that,
headquarters and the maker can be the same place.
possibly. So you want to take him to the headquarters in the quarry?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yep.
can.
Wow, that's super delayed.
Yeah, you are physically. Oh, there you.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, super robot.
Oh, God.
Evil Kaylee is back.
Oh no, we've lost her.
That's all right. She's probably resetting her computer. How about this? I'm going to write down the survival check for 24, and what we are going to do is take a 10-minute break, because it's about that time anyway. So when we come back from our 10, oh, wonderful, she's coming back, and I'll let her know. So we're going to go on our 10-minute break, and then when we get back, we will make all those checks, do all those things, and see where this crazy ride takes us. So Kaylee, thank you so much for coming back. 10-minute break for you, girl. You earned it, doing all this middle management of this massive orc.
So much middle management.
All right, everyone. So when we come back in 10, we'll see you then. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. We're back from our bathroom break. I'm glad that we were able to hear you and be heard. And, hey, we're only mortal. Sometimes you have to pee. So that being said, we're going to get back to the action. Before we left to take a quick break, we got Matthias' survival check to find materials along the way. Before we do more survival checks, I do need one confirmation as to exactly where we are marching Unit Leontari. Did we come to a consensus as to where we are currently moving towards with regards to the map and places they're in.
To the
I mean-
quarry.
Sure.
Say it again, Matthias.
To the quarry.
To the quarry. Excellent. Anyone else? We're all going to the quarry. We're on board.
I'm kind of voting to wherever the creator is.
To the quarry.
Sounds
I
like
mean-
we're.
Yeah,
Was
it's
that
pretty much up to Chionubis because you're the only one that can give him an order.
I don't make the rules. That's true.
She's gonna look at him and say, "Do you know where the quarry is?"
You see him scanning the sky, and then almost like with perfect precision, stops and points off in the distance. Target quarry, headquarters for rendezvous over there.
That is your new target.
Well, seems we have our heading.
Is
Oh.
he gonna run away from us?
Here we go.
Hey.
Really
Have to take some
fast?
Spears.
Really fast. Okay, good. Sorry about that. I just want to confirm that the sound was around. Anyway, moving right along. So we're going to the quarry, yes?
To the quarry.
All right. This is going to be a long journey. You have an option. You can try to go. Let me show you on the mini map. You can try to go from new units to headquarters directly. Now, this will, this will, of course, be faster geographically, but because these are trailed locations, these are actually places you can walk. This methodology is also just as fast, moving camp to camp. However, there's a lot of difficult terrain that's going to slow you down. Great places to camp overnight. However, it's going to make your traveling very slow. If you go on the roads, yes, you'd be moving towards enemy camps, but you'd be moving faster. So the logical question here is, do you want to cut through all that stuff, take a long time to move there, or do you want to go faster by cutting camp to camp?
If we move from camp to camp, we could take out reinforcements.
Should we have
Have him
him
bring some
carry
spears.
some bomb supplies to just kind of lob at them? Also, how long is long?
That's a very good question. So, I'm going to do some math. Getting to the new unit location from Cobbledale was approximately 2 days, about a day and a half journey. Getting from the camp that you were originally at to the headquarters in the quarry is almost a 2-day journey. So transversely, yes, it would be faster, but because of the terrible terrain, it might take you 3 days, maybe 4, to get there. Now, moving from the camp to camp, it would only take you about 2 days tops, maybe 2.5 days.
So, I don't care which way we go, but we did leave like a note for the dog guy that we went here. So we should leave a note saying where we're going, so that on the off chance that he doesn't just give up because we didn't give him enough money, maybe he comes and helps. But we're not going to be back in time to say hi.
We're just sending Zashmaru on a wild goose chase through the forest.
What else is he going to do?
I vote
Well, yeah.
for the note 2.
Okay.
Cool,
So
cool,
as
but I don't have paper.
Oh, I have paper. I have a
Oh, we got-
notebook.
That's true.
so as we write him a note telling him that we're going to, well, we haven't decided, but
To the quarry.
quarry. Yes, to the quarry. We just haven't decided how we're getting to the quarry. I'm going to suggest that we ask the big orc man to please grab some spears so he can carry them on his back or something, or carry them. So in the chance that we do encounter another orc camp before we get to the quarry, we have an easier time of taking them down.
I mean, we can grab some of the like tents that the orcs use to sleep in, just turn them inside out, load it with some bomb supplies, like canistered ones, so that he can also just like have a bag of bombs.
So we're gonna ask him to grab a bag of bombs with a bag of big sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. What's his real name again?
Leonidas or something like that.
Leontari.
Leonidas.
It is spelled, not that he knows how it's spelled, but it is spelled Lion, like lion, and then T-A with a little over it, R-I. Leontari.
Leontari.
Cool.
Woodward's gonna walk over to one of the logs that fell over when he clapped. One that's kind of pointing in the direction of where we know the headquarters, and he's gonna get to writing his best friend Zoshmaru a note. So at least it's in the same hand, and he knows what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Promise him rainbow.
You're muted again.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna actually offer Woodward a piece of paper and pen.
All right.
It'd be easier.
Really fast, remind me, have you guys written him a note before?
Yeah.
We left a note at the original camp where we sent him off.
After he left, you wrote him a note,
Yep.
and then you left.
Yes.
And then it was a message scrawled into the side of a log.
That was like, we're going over here to do a thing.
Yeah.
Now, I know Woodward knows calculus and physics. Is he literate? Can he like write?
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
So I
you
do
know a
know
little bit.
Gnomic, Common, and Druidic, but I can't teach you guys Druidic because it's a club thing. You understand?
it's a stonecutters thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, only the cool kids get to learn druidity. Druidic. Okay, so you're going to the quarry by way of the other camps, and when you return back to the camp where you told Zoshmaru to go back to Cobbledale, you're going to leave him another note explaining where you're going.
Is
So,
that on the way?
Yes, you'd be basically doubling back to your original camp to go to the other camp.
Okay, cool.
then I'll just carve out the note there.
So we're gonna have one note carved in that's
Updated.
like, we did cross it out. No, we came back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Chionubis is gonna like lean towards Matthias and be like, "Do you think he's smart enough to read?" Referring to Zoshmaru.
One can only hope.
Oh, and
Okay.
PJ, while we're traveling, could I be gathering the supplies I need for the disguise?
Yes, now that I know exactly where you're going, I want you guys to make survival checks along the way for any disguises that you wish to be making. I still have Matthias's original roll. Sidney?
I got a 21.
All right.
Survival.
I'm going to choose to use Woodward's Assurance on survival, which means I automatically get to roll at least automatically get a 10. So I get a 17 total.
Okay, nice.
Not going to leave that to fate.
Yeah. Amy, did you want to make a survival check?
Yeah, I rolled a 23.
Nice.
Yeah. Got a 19 die face, man.
All right.
Killing
What did you get, Rufa?
You said that I could use nature instead, right?
That's correct.
Then I got a 17.
Man.
Okay. Excellent. And if anyone else wishes to roll nature or survival to look for goodies for the disguise, go right ahead. I will tell you right now, we are at the maximum bonus for this roll. Just put that out there. All right. So if you want to, just be like, here's one more twig I found. You're welcome.
Beep.
Okay, so you guys are moving back. Along the way, you're finding some really good supplies in nature. You're finding mud, berries, sticks, and dirt and bark and things like that that you know that you can kind of play with, give textures, give colors, all that wonderful hoopla. And you get back to your main camp, the one that you first invaded and took over. It looks like it has been undisturbed. Undisturbed? Yeah. However, it is very late at night. If you wish to, you can keep pushing on, or you can go to bed for the night and wake up first thing in the morning.
Does he need to
Let's
sleep?
go to bed.
Do we know if he needs to sleep?
Is there some sort of off switch button contraption?
I think that's a very personal question, and I'm not sure we're there yet with him.
Well, either way, I cannot ask him.
We could ask him.
Matthias wants to know if he can turn the orc on.
Off.
Oh, off. Excuse me.
That's easier.
Yes. Well, he could sleep if he wants to, or he could stand watch for us. Either way.
Yeah, if he doesn't have to sleep, he's a good guy to stand watch.
As long as he looks somewhere other than the sky.
It's true.
Chionubis, how do
Gotta
you
keep up.
feel about asking him if he has an off switch, or asking him if he can watch our backs as we sleep?
Which one do you want me to ask?
Both, preferably.
Yes, both.
Both is good.
if it's good.
So as Chionubis is like going and just like finding a log to lean against and prop herself up as she's gonna try to sleep, she looks over at him and say, "Do you sleep, or would you prefer to keep watch?"
Leontari says, I do not sleep. I do not rest. I only obey order.
Let us know.
He
if
said he
anyone-
doesn't sleep.
Good man.
Cool.
I still think we should
Do
have
we-
at least one person stand watch with
Yeah.
the big boy.
Well,
2
then
by
it
2,
should.
or 1 of 2 is always big boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's a good thing. But I honestly think that we should probably do pairs if we can, other than the big guy. Because the rest of us can't talk to him anyway.
It's true.
If anything does happen, it's not like we can give him orders. We then have to wake Chionubis up to then tell that guy to do
Just
the
stay
I
awake
mean-
the whole time.
If he wants to be alert, we can just have the order of, you see anyone approaching camp, tell the person that's awake. Like,
Yeah.
Give
person.
me signal.
That's true. I know Alona can't speak orc, but she's gonna do her damnedest to try. So, yes, lots of hand signals. But I think if just one person stays, it should be fine, because if we just give him the blanket order that if he sees anything, let somebody know, or like poke them on the shoulder.
If you see
Into the
something,
ground.
say
Alert
something.
the other awake person.
Thinking that. I was
Yeah.
thinking that.
Yes. So if we're cool with that, Alone is fine to take the first watch with the big dude.
I'll take 1 of them,
Okay. How many are there? 4?
usually.
Usually 4.
Everyone puts in
Woodward will
about.
take one, but
Okay.
not without mush.
Yeah.
Of course not.
So-
There will be 3 of us.
So assuming Leontari is there for all the watches because they can, who wants to take first watch? We have Ilona and Woodward on first watch.
So I think it's
Oh.
1 of us and him.
Okay, got it. So Ilona is taking first watch with Big Guy, if I'm hearing that correctly. Second watch is going to be Woodward
And mush.
and Mush. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can't forget Mush.
Third watch.
I'll take one.
I don't think chat would let us forget much.
Yes.
Absolutely not. Okay, so third one goes to Rufa. Fourth watch in the last watch of the night. Who wants to take
I'll
the
take
fourth one? All right. Now, by the way, this is still a campfire opportunity as it is night, and you now have a campfire. If you want to have any actions with each other, with your NPCs, or anything else, this is a great time to have that RP and to do some downtime actions.
Roast some
So,
goblins.
what's that?
Roast some goblins. Goblins.
Yes.
first.
Absolutely. So the first watch is Ilona's.
Mhm.
While that's happening, does anyone want to be doing anything in this time? with any other player, any other NPC, so forth and so on, now's the time.
I'll have a moment, a little chat with Morel.
Okay.
Damage control.
All right.
buddy.
You good?
So you're chatting with Morel. Really fast, Alona, I will tell you that during your time, nothing of interest happens. During the time, you find out that Leon Tari is terrible company. He doesn't look to you. He doesn't talk to you. He doesn't, for your knowledge, he doesn't even breathe. He just kind of stares.
Even if Alona's like, hey,
Yeah, ignores
Listen.
you completely.
I want to name you something else. You're our friends now.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey.
Hey, look, listen.
He gives you zero acknowledgement. He is currently on orders for Overwatch, so he is like, and that's it. That's all you get. So that being said, Morel and Chionubis, you see Morel getting out this giant bag of like hammers, and he's just going to work on this shield, trying to basically take that giant concave dent and knock it out again, so the shield can.
That'll be easy to sleep through.
clank, clank.
Good.
That's not something.
He's wrapping the interior of it with like cloth and leather, so it kind of makes a dull thud, but it's still thud, 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 thud. He stops when you approach him.
I wanted to apologize.
He looks you in the eye, and you can see he's very stern in his eyes. He's gonna. All right.
I figured you were the strongest one in the group and could take a hit.
Mm. Yeah.
Didn't know he'd hit you that hard.
Mm.
She's just so awful at apologizing.
And he's giving you the stern look down, but he's nodding his head like he's listening to you, and he eventually says, "Listen, I want to ask you something. Why do you think, knowing full well what you were planning, that I went along with it?"
I swear if you say it has something to do with faith and Afra, I will hit you next.
He looks at you and he says, "My goddess is about love and redemption. That doesn't mean she has to be yours. Why do you think I followed your order?"
She kind of shrugs and looks around, trying not to make eye contact with him. I don't know why.
Because you have to trust me. Because I have to trust you. No one, I don't know if you noticed this, but no one else in this country is Acadian. All my people are very far away. And I don't know if you noticed this either, but not a lot of people share your ears. And I'm not saying we're brother and sister, because we're not. We'll never be. But the one thing I know for true, for absolute true, is that we're alone. And that doesn't get anything done. So, I figure, hey, might take one for the team. Take a good beating. Who knows? Worst case scenario, they're only going to kill you. So, why not?
It's been a long time since someone's trusted me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I trust you, but I guess it's a step.
Morel kind of nods his head. You can see his lips kind of pursing through his big, old, groomed beard. And he says, I was stationed in Ur for at least 8 years. My position there was meant to be an auxiliary, simply a show of force. I had commanding officers, but I was put in charge of many of the local populace of my people in Orcish territory. They always referred to me as soldier, leader. But there's one person who called me Beardy Man. That person was 10 years old. Her name was... No, it doesn't matter what her name was. But she called me Beardy Man. She was a child in a room full of people that took away my identity and gave me a title. The little girl trusted me. So, I'm no longer an Orc. I ain't in Acadia. So I guess I'm just going to be here with you. Because everyone here will take me. And with your permission, Mum, I would like to give my trust to you, if you'll have it.
I think you proved yourself enough today.
It only took me partly dying, but hey, I'll do it again probably, so...
She just nods her head. All right. You have it until you break it.
That's fair. What's fair is fair. So let me ask you something. Now that I've got your trust, what do you need for mine? You want me to keep dying day in and day out? Because look, a bloke can only do it so many. Maybe there's something out in this crazy world you need, or you're looking for, or you want.
I want a lot of things, believe me.
You know what I find to be very true? The lot of things, they're not hard. Oh, sure, they cost some money. Sure, they take time, but they're not hard. The many. No. It's the one thing you want. That's the little bastard that takes forever. It's absolutely impossible. At least that's what I'm working on. It's the one.
Unless you can bring someone back from the dead, I don't think I'll ever get what I want.
He hangs his head, and you can see he's skirting the topic and says, "Is my shield banging too loud? Do I need to say this for later? I don't want to..."
No, it's fine. I just wanted to come over and apologize.
But apology accepted. Very, very appreciative, ma'am. Thank you for your time. I'll be quiet on the banging, I guess.
Yeah, and she's just gonna scurry off because feelings, and he wants to talk about those.
Yeah, and you can hear the heaviest sigh, the most awkward sigh as he goes, and you kind of hear under his breath, "I guess I'll save shield repair for tomorrow." So Ilona, you find that not only does Leontari not breathe, he also doesn't do anything. He doesn't shift his weight. He doesn't crack his knuckles. Not a single bone pops as he turns his head. He's quite mute. Next up, Woodward and Mush. You're now on...
Point of order. I want our next poll to be who did an apology worse, Morel or Chionubis. And we should just let the viewers figure that one out.
This girl does not apologize very often, let me tell you.
But I'm just saying, right now where I sit, they were pretty on par.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to put forth, and maybe we can discuss this later before next episode. I saw the chat was discussing a name for Leontari. So maybe we'll have to put that also in the
that's
poll.
A good one.
From there. So Woodward and Mush, Europe, you find he's got an odd smell, Leontari. Especially Mush. Mush picks up on it, and eventually your nose picks up on it too. Most people have a body odor and a musk. This guy kind of smells like the sky after a rainstorm. Now, that being said, who wants to go next with an RP moment? You can talk to another player. All right, Ilona. Who do you want to talk to? You can talk to another PC, NPC, whatever you want.
Where's Matthias?
Oh,
Good question.
I am sitting against the tree, being Rudy mode.
Great.
Code.
About Matthias. Standardized functioning. Alona is going to try and... She's not going to try and sneak up on Matthias. She's going to try and approach him gently, if that is a thing that you can imagine in your brain. And she's going to sort of try and broach a subject and say, well, I'm just going to get to the point. Earlier,
Will not
or
apologize. It's funny.
No, that's not what I'm talking about, even though it did seem like you really wanted Morel to die, but I won't talk about that this time. I heard you sort of say something a day or two ago. You mentioned that you didn't know that Morel worshipped Afra. I worship Afra too, and I was wondering why that piqued your interest.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just, in traveling, you hear names often, and it's just simply a name I've heard before.
Okay. Well, if you're ever curious about learning more, or if you remember anything more about your memories, I don't know what I'm saying, you can talk to me if you want.
Listen, I do thank you for saving my life multiple times at this point, and quite possibly multiple more, so I thank you in advance. But gods and goddesses have never quite been of interest for me. They've never done anything for me, so I don't see any use in doing anything for them.
I have a feeling I'm going to hear that quite a lot out here. It's definitely a transition, but I understand.
Nothing against it. I don't. I believe you should be able to do as you wish, but I don't think it's for me. I know what it's like to be in awe of someone who follows gods and goddesses, and I see no need.
So, if you don't believe in gods and goddesses, what do you believe in?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I don't believe in them. I doubt if they're real, that they believe in me or have any time for me, and so I have no time for them. And I have seen what it is to be upset. That is not something that I need in my life.
Well,
He is the god of love, yes.
the god of love? I know quite a bit about the god of love. Yes. The thing about the god of love is that they encompass so much. To simply umbrella term it under love is a little bit of a disservice. They are everything, and they're everywhere, and everyone and every living thing, because everything can love. And I'm sure that this god has hurt many people because love is a fickle thing, and it has no explanation a lot of the time. But it always manages to come back into people's lives if they let it.
Well, at this point, this so-called love has seemed very selective. And if love is truly a part of Afra's nature, then I don't think that you should let certain things slide.
Well,
Especially to someone who follows me.
I think you've made your point very clear. I will let you be for the rest of the night.
My apologies, I do not mean to be harsh. But it seems your goddess has a reputation, and with eyes that she has on her, I should think we should expect more from her. But I do not fault you, nor do I judge you. And I even thank you for making my wounds disappear. But if you ask me, I think that that is of you and of your own position.
Well, Afra is not the sole deity of love. She is, she certainly encompasses it in her care for other people. And I understand that there has been some hurt, very deep hurt, and I don't mean to press it, and I won't at all. And I am under the impression that I do hold myself and I do hold others to a higher standard. That is within me, and that is within my God. And I won't bring this up to you again. Not out of personal hurt, but because I don't want to stab a wound that seems so fresh. So, thank you for talking to me about your opinions, about how you feel. I will try not to rub anything of my God in your face. I will do my best to respect your opinions. And I'm glad that you respect mine. I hope one day, maybe, you'll change your mind, but I won't hold my breath. It's okay. But God or not, if you ever want to talk about why you have an aversion to love like you do, person to person, not cleric to rogue, I'm here.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I just sort of lower my head a bit, kind of turn a bit away.
All right. Aluna's going to walk back to camp and sit down by the fire.
Lona,
What?
as she begins to walk away. Don't give up your life for some being that won't lend a hand in return. I think more of those that I can see versus those that I can't. Just don't die for them.
Person to person, I'm not going anywhere. And she continues to walk to camp.
I will say thank you both of you very much for that scene, and I want to give you both a hero point.
Yay! Run with it.
Because it is my fervent belief that a hero is not only someone who does cool things and crazy actions, but can actually express their heart in heroic fashions. And sometimes the most heroic thing your heart can do is just be honest, to what little degree it's allowed. That being stated, both of you guys get a hero point. Woodward and Mush, your time is done. Rufa, you are now on the third watch. That being said, does anyone else want to do a downtime action? Campfire, talk to a PC or NPC. I will be giving a reprieve to Chionubis, Ilona, and Matthias, unless Matthias is someone he wishes to talk to specifically. But other players can talk to him. If that makes any sense at all, let me know. Does anyone here, Woodward and Mush, or Amy's character, Eloise, wish to have a downtime action during Rufa's watch?
Is this the same camp that we were at before?
Yes, it is.
Then Eloise is gonna kind of camp out by the tree that she slept on the first time and just kind of continue on carving into it by herself.
Okay, and that's going to be a downtime action?
Yep.
Give me a quick performance check to skiddly cadoodle cut that noodle. That doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
Nice. I'm gonna take that fake hero point and that you're gonna use on that boss and just take that right on back.
No, that's deserved.
That was an 18.
Okay.
Ooh.
Awesome. Great.
Good carve.
I
Good
have
card, it's good.
another poll we should put up, episode 10 or 15, somewhere around there, for our favorite PJ-isms.
Yes.
We just gotta watch the videos. I'll watch it. I'll do it myself. I'll write them all down. we can have a vote on PJ-isms.
It'll be one of those nights where we all drink heavily and go, that one! That thing I said was stupid.
Yes.
It'll present it for the skiddly skidoodle, cut that noodle. So, as you are...
Quote of the day.
Yes.
As you are skiddly cadoodling, cutting that noodling, you start hearing the voice in the back of your head. And it says, yes, mark them all. Show your territory, let kingdoms fall. And you get this sense like you're doing something right, like you're taking land back from bad people.
It encourages her to kind of keep going, and she focuses the details on the parts that seem most important while letting the other ones kind of rub away.
And as you're doing that, you notice this kind of really fun thing. It's really cute. Your friend decided to kind of say hi. As you're cutting it, the cuttings in the tree, you see this little inky water start to kind of bubble out of the tree a little bit. And then you notice it's him saying hi.
If I touch it, does it come off on my hands, or does it just kind of sit there?
It doesn't come off, but you can feel every bit of that sensation. And you can feel with that the closeness to your friend.
Yeah, I just kind of feel it and kind of hold that close.
Very, very cool. I'm going to consider that a very good downtime action and a hero point for you for being extra Harley Quinn crazy spoopy.
Yay.
All that good stuff.
Harley Quinn crazy spoopy. Oh my god, it's so accurate. Why?
That being said,
GM Ned Flanders.
I think during this time, Woodward's going to work on his note for Zashmaru.
Takes you all night.
I mean, if he's got the time, he'll do it now instead of in the morning when we got to get going. Sure. He's going to try to chip away at all the words that were beforehand, try to get that bark off to then carve into the actual tree. Yeah. He's going to write down, it's basically heading to a new camp. On the map it says HQ. Made a new friend. This is from Rufa. And he just puts the blank piece of paper in his log. And then he like rolls over. And like with the arrow pointing the right direction, and he just like goes to the other side of the log and goes to sleep.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
That being
Okay.
said, Rufa is doing his watch. I've pre-rolled. Nothing of interest happens during your watch. But as you're sitting there with the big buff guy, it's insane. Like, you kind of have this moment where you're thinking to yourself, you're talking to yourself, and you just kind of look like, oh, Jesus. Like, he's still there. You keep forgetting he's not there because he makes no noise. He's just like scanning across the trees, just like looking at everything. So I'm going to count both of those as the downtime actions during Rufus' watch. Eloise, your watch is last.
Yes.
As you go to be with him, you feel an odd sensation. You feel that he has a shadow, which makes no sense because he's casting none, because it's dark. But as you look at him, you can feel he's got a shadow there.
Like, I'm gonna walk over to him and kind of do a circle,
All right.
like a very slow circle.
Okay.
Can I don't know if it would be occult or religion, or let me try to figure out what I want to say. So, I want to circle him
Mm-hmm.
and kind of stop in front of him, but slightly to like one side. And I'm going to look into his eyes
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of let my gaze drift to the left in a kind of focus.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
was
want-
just- yeah.
and I want to say, you're allowed to talk too.
Give me an occult check.
Occult check. This is what
You
I'm
made it
good
weird.
at.
She made it weird. That's all she-
It's my
Never normal.
specialty.
She goes up to something, she does something normal, makes eye contact, and then makes it weird.
That is, I'm going to use my hero point because that was not as good as I wanted it to be. That's better. 22.
So as you're doing that thing where you're looking at him and then just looking a little bit to his left, kind of looking in that space between space, and you say, you can talk too. You notice something. His eyes do not look at you. He does not respond to you. His mouth does not move. You don't even hear him breathe or see his diaphragm rise and sink or his lungs expand. But you suddenly, in the back of your mind, like a hair standing up on the back of your neck, you hear 100 voices screaming in pain.
I think
And it's gone in a second.
she kind of, like it was an actual weight hitting it, kind of like staggers for a second. And like clutches onto her friend for a second before standing firm and trying to refocus. If you were made, you can be unmade. And you can be free of the screams and the pain if you can show me how.
You are granted a brief vision It's very muddy, very hazy. It's like when you try to download a picture off the internet and the graphic quality is crap, so it's all kind of digitally and blurry.
It's like dial-up where it's just like line by line by line, but it doesn't fully load.
Yeah, for those of you watching who don't know what dial-up is, it was the crappy pre-internet.
Screw you.
Hi.
That's right.
Look, I'm 33. I can say that. I was 12 when that crap came out. But
I'm 24. I know what it is.
I'm just saying.
Same.
But did you
Anyway.
feel it in your soul?
I felt it in mine. So the point is this. That kind of awful dial-up, the image isn't fully loaded yet. Vision in your head. Pitch black. There's a very unusual ambient lighting that's not fully loading, if you will. It's kind of like this really weird green, sickly green light. And there, blurry but big, as your brain can show you on the canvas of your mind's eye, you see what looks like a giant goblin's face. Smile going from ear to ear, teeth like daggers, and what you think are its eyes, it looks... There's something about it, maybe because it's blurry, but there's something about the eyes. They're way too clear. Maybe they're wearing goggles, but they give it this like maniacal glare. And you can't get very good details, but you instantly see this blurry picture of a goblin in your head, smiling with a sick and violent joy from this creature. That being said, Rufa, what's your downtime action, my buddy?
Fine.
Ding.
Needed.
I'm muted. Sorry. He pretty much takes all the evidence that he's collected thus far, give it another good once over to check if he's missed anything, and perfect all the copies. And at the end, he's gonna channel all the cosplayers that I know to basically create a goblin outfit the day before a con.
Oh, my man. So what I'm hearing is you're
Crunch
not.
life.
So what I'm hearing is, and I think Kylie can echo this. So you're not sleeping tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm cosplay sewing.
All right. Okay. Here's what I will say. I will say that since we're doing this like good old cosplayers, you're going to need a handful of coffee. You're going to need Red Rock, the energy drink that gives you the wings of birds. You're going to basically be up until the sun rises. So here's the trade-off. If we do this full cosplay style, I will treat this disguise as a critical success. However, you will have one level of fatigue, and you will not have slept at all, and you don't get any regenerative things. Like if you don't have spells, so that's not an issue. Any one a days or anything else, not regenerated. But this disguise will be a critical success, plus 4 points. Your choice. Or you can say, I give it my Rufa best. I'm going to roll a check to make this disguise, and I'm going to go to bed like a human being.
Would it be able to kind of basically do kind of like a half rest?
I'm going to stick with my gamble, my offer. All or nothing, buddy.
Well, I am a gambler, so let's go with all or nothing.
All right.
Yes!
Nice.
So I'm going to make a big old note here.
Yay.
Okay, disguise is a critical success. Oh, God.
Plus 4.
Yeah, plus 4.
Oh my god, this is incredible.
That
It's
is
pretty
great.
much like putting the war blood together, doing the fabrics, sewing.
He
So much
somehow found like a trunk the right size and
Yeah,
dress form.
just see him, like his hair's up. He's like with a hot glue gun and everything.
Exit sleep.
What is the New Jack City version of a glue gun?
It's like a candle.
Yeah.
I want to say New Jack City would be something like hot bonding epoxy.
Yeah, there we go.
Your brain moves so fast.
Well, that's what happens when you have all that coffee.
Taking all our camp foam mats, doing some little Eva shaping.
Yeah, he's like sitting there making the costume, looking back, kind of eyeballing Louise and going, "Shoulders are smaller. Shoulders are smaller."
He dies a little bit inside around like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, has like a small breakdown, then like gets over it, and he's like, "Yes, I'm fucking brilliant. I'm sorry, I'm fucking brilliant. My apologies."
He's like, the heck with freaking sewing hams. I hate sewing hams.
It's okay. In PG-13 movies, they get one F-bomb.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's yeah.
Well, we're all out of popcorn.
All
There's
right.
gonna be no zippers. He's just gonna use the clothespin or safety pins to pin her into it. No zippers. I don't have time.
Hope you don't have to pee.
Velcro this.
If you bust a stitch, this whole outfit falls off. So come back to me.
Eloise, don't breathe. When you're wearing this, don't breathe.
And it's gonna.
Like this course is just.
Breathing is optional. So really fast. I do actually want to give a second opportunity to Woodward and or Matthias if you guys have anything specific. I feel like Eloise got some really good role playing with her special buddy. But do you guys have anyone else you want to specifically talk to or instigate a conversation with? Really fast. Just check.
Yeah, I think Woodward wants to talk to Chionubis a little bit about some of her choices.
Oh no!
Choices.
Oh gosh.
Well, I was
All
gonna
right.
say, if no one wants to talk to me, I'm going to bed.
I was actually going to say, if you want to talk to anyone, I was going to give it one last chance.
Yeah, no, unless someone's like, "Oh, I want to talk to me," I'm all by
Emotionally
myself,
You're tapped.
I'm going to bed.
exhausted.
It's all good. Don't be afraid to initiate that convo if you want to. But right now, we're going to go with Woodward and Chionubis. Talk away.
I think Woodward walks over to Chionubis and simply put, he kind of stands his ground. I don't think you've ever seen... I don't know if Woodward's never been one to like just kind of square up, but he's obviously got something on his mind. And he says, "So, I saw you talking to Meryl. I'm guessing and hoping that was an apology of some sort."
Such the disappointed parent. She like has her arms folded as she's like leaning against the log as she's like attempting to sleep.
You're leaning up against this log, sitting down, and Woodward is matching you eye to eye. Like you're leaning up against this log, and Woodward's standing up tall, looking at you directly in your eyes.
She's gonna like sigh, like for that real heavy sigh, like I don't want to talk about this right now. I've already apologized once. That was awkward. Yeah, it was.
You set your stuff straight with him?
Why does that seem like that surprises you?
I mean, he forgives a hell of a lot easier than I would.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that easy, too.
I feel like there's a little bit of a... There's a little bit of a divide amongst us all here. I know we're going in and we're trying to tackle these guys and get Cobbledale back on his feet, but as much as we learned about this new fella, we also lost a shield for a good half a day. We didn't really gain anything, we just kind of lost.
And you know, a good friend of mine always spoke that there's no winning without some loss.
Yeah, I can
Those
agree
tend to
with
be
that,
words I
but
live by.
I can agree with that. I think anybody could, but I think we could all give a little instead of one person giving a lot.
if you're speaking about this terrible decision I put on morale, I don't think it was terrible. I think it was a learning experience.
Well,
what do you think I should have done differently?
Well, I can
Besides
tell you what's
unearthing a tree that's already on fire.
well, I can tell you what's going to stand up to a punch better than morale. One of them 300-year-old oaks that were sitting around in this forest.
I think either way, he would have unearthed a tree and launched it, whether it be at someone or at nothing to take down more trees. And
I
I'm
think
not
there's
one
some-
to destroy trees. I have a sensitive spot with them. PJ!
That'll make so much sense to you all later when you learn the lore of that. But right now, just pretend that was a low blow.
Well, as much as you understand the trees, I understand the roots. And I have to say,
That's a
our people and what we have here is the only thing that's going to keep us getting through this. We are the roots here. We're the roots of getting out of this. Unfortunately, I'm tied to a city right now. Place I never thought I'd be. But we can't go forsaking one root for just another branch. But, you know, I'm not going to say it was a bad decision. I'm not going to say it was a bad call. That's yours to make, and you seem to make amends with him just fine. But, if you want to keep the other branches and roots around, you may want to make sure that we're all taking care of each other.
So you're telling me to just blindly trust you all? Is that what it is?
No. Shoot, I can't ask that. I don't trust you. You just hit a man with a orc and a branch. But, trust or not, staying together is the only way that we're all going to make it out of here alive. And then we can part ways just fine. I think breaking down a shield that we had on our side to prove a point of this thing's strength just isn't worth the cost.
Ooh. That was a slap to the face.
But, like I said, you seem to patch it up. And if he patches it up, he's showing you trust. So the only thing I can do is show you the same. So, anyway, I hope we can all get through this intact, more or less. And maybe if not so intact, it's coming from another person, then maybe someone on the inside.
I'll take all that into consideration.
Fair enough. I guess you got the qualities of a leader. A lot of people here listen to you. And it's not just the big guy. You've pointed us in the right direction a few times. But for everyone who's following you, that's another set of eyes on your actions. Just, take a minute.
Believe me, I'm no leader.
Not where you're from, but let's look at it this way. You've got me, who doesn't want to be anywhere near Cobbledale. Place is too confusing. You got Alona, who knows just as much of the rest of the outside of the world as I know about the inside of Cobbledale. You have an 11-year-old halfling, who is one of the most intimidating people I have ever met.
Yeah, whoa.
And now, there's 2 left. You have Rufa. That man, smarter than any book I've ever seen. Thing is, he's got too many smarts to make the decision straight off the bat. And unfortunately, it's the opposite for Matthias. He's got one decision he's already made, and the rest of us just kind of have to stick around for it. You're moving forward. You're looking at what we got. You're the one who can speak to these orcs. I hate to say it, but you're in the middle of all this.
I'm sorry if my actions worried you today. It was a split-second decision. It was immature of me. And for that, I apologize. Apologize if I put worry on your shoulders, or anyone else in this camp. I don't mean to, believe me. I've let down enough people in my life. So, do accept my sincerest apologies over that decision. I hope it doesn't change or put into view anything you think of me for the future.
Not now. You've done something a hell of a lot harder than any of the other decisions you've made. Apologizing's no easy task. Shoot, we've all seen Morel try it.
Yeah. And he's awful at it, almost as awful as I am.
But, no, we're straight just as we always were. But I don't think it's right to linger with a thought in your mind if you can talk it through with the other people around you.
I will freely take that under consideration. From now and onward.
Well, my next thing is, if you're up on watch at any point, if you see any white or black rocks, I'm still trying to put together my board. I still got to replace the shield too, but we're going to get to that. So, if you see anything, just let me know.
I will keep my eyes peeled for anything, and I'll send them your way.
Thanks. Sleep well.
I'm Chionubis, by the way.
I think you're the only one I haven't gotten to an introduction to. My name's Woodward. This here's Mush.
I've gathered that on several occasions, yes.
Well, if you don't make introductions to everybody the same way, then they'll get confused somewhere in the middle.
That's the truth. Good night.
I'm pretty plain, and I'm happy to see. Me and Mush are pretty plain, easygoing people, but I'm happy to see somebody taking the reins on this horse.
I guess we'll see where it takes us.
We will. We will.
Good night.
Good night.
I
think Woodward walks into the darkness, and that log that he was scraping into, he just sleeps right underneath that sign.
Oh yeah,
it's good enough for him.
Yeah, and Mush just kind of like does that thing where he kind of and kind of like worms around the little area and finally finds a really good place where he can both be comfortable himself and also kind of cuddle you. So like you're both kind of intertwined. He's like a pillow. He's like both your pillow and blanket, but you're also like his pillow and blanket. So it's like a nice little thing.
I believe the technical term is a cuddle puddle.
A cuddle puddle. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes, a cuddle puddle. A cuddle puddle with a furry buttle. Don't add that to the list. That's not my good one.
Yes, on the list.
God dang it.
Every night, my guilty. So I'm like,
Now, that being said, really quickly, there's two things I want to say. One, when we first started this amazing show, when we were in pre-production and getting to know each other, Ian's like, I'm not an actor. I'm just here to have fun, and I don't know if I can really do any of this. And today, sir, I challenge that, and I think that you are way capable of acting.
There's a red flag on the field. The challenge has been called.
Yeah.
Can I just say this? Woodward is basically the Lorax. He speaks for the trees.
I am the Lorax. I sleep in the trees. Also, both you and Chionubis, you both get another hero point for that amazing bit of downtime. And
we gotta use them.
Yep.
Oh no, I have 3.
Oh, that's the maximum. I was doing all my notes and research. 3 is the max. I don't know about levels and whatnot, but the book says 3. So going with that. However, what I would like to say is the sun finally rises. Is like twitching and exhausted and manic from spending an entire night making a DC 33 disguise. So I don't know.
I made the cosplay.
I don't know who's ever going to beat a DC 33 perception check on this, but most like orcs are going to be convinced that she's a goblin. That's actually not hard to do. Most everybody, yeah, you're a goblin. You're basically a goblin. That being said, so the sun rises. As the sun rises, everyone's doing their morning routine. Morel is starting off with his prayer where he's on his knees facing the sun. He kind of bows to the sun and he's saying something. He repeats the process. He's doing his grooming. Chionubis, you awaken to, once your eyes slowly perch open, you see a face the size of a house staring at you. And it's Leontari. And Leontari goes, and he speaks in Orcish. Commander of the night was uneventful, waiting orders. And he's like really just bent all up in your grill, trying to good morning you, I guess.
She's gonna like face palm him away. Like, oh god.
you do like nothing more than you do nothing more than push yourself away. You're like, no.
I'll take that.
So you push yourself away. He goes, awaiting orders, Commander. Just awaiting orders. Like, just all up in your face. Everyone else. So you see what looks like a grown man staring at a penny, and you realize it's Leontari, like, really getting in Chionubis' grill. But it's your morning as well. You can go about any morning routine or ritual you want to do. Have any morning RP. I think Rufa, if you're going to make the breakfast, you're going to be at really bad penalties for this.
For breakfast this time, Rufa's probably going with something very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Oatmeal, some dry nuts, maybe some dry fruit, and some extra strength coffee.
All right, so what I want from you is a performance check at a -4.
All right.
Bro.
Let's see.
Amy, I can't tell if you're trying to. Are you trying to fish?
No, it's more like stir. Flip the pan. Stir.
Got it, because I was like, real. Get the fish.
I thought
Real.
we're
19.
19. Okay.
I have a really high performance check.
Not bad. So I'll say this: your boy cooks. It may not look great, but the minute you eat it, you're like, "Oh my god, this is making my heart a better person." Why?
Lufa says, Lufa apologizes. It is not really up to usual snuff, but been up all night. Oh, Eloise, come. Let's try the outfit.
Oh.
Holds
All
up like literally almost like a skinned goblin suit.
Did you skin one of the goblins that we attacked?
No, do not worry. All vegan materials, all natural. No harm has come to anything. All natural dyes, I could guarantee it. I might have to use some safety pins here and there, but I was pressed for time.
Okay. How do I put it on?
Here. Open this. The zipper only goes halfway here because I only had this much here. All right, now let's safety pin here. Move your arm up a little higher.
I'm trying. I can only reach this high.
Just a little. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's put the wig on. The wig. I started the wig. Once again, all natural. Use mud and various twigs. Dyed it with some berries. We found earlier. Yes, quite good. All right. I need to make you to make squeeze your face right like this. Yes. All right. Let me just get the jaw part down. There we go. There. Yeah. The artifice. Yes. Rufa. What do you think?
The only thing is, did you make me a hat?
The hat. Oh yes. Here is the hat. He basically transformed part of his sleeping bag a little bit. Sleeping bag, some random fabrics, polka dot, stripes, a little tiger pattern over here, a little leopard pattern there from different fabrics. There you go. It's about a hat about basically the size of my chat window.
So I'm gonna quantify that as saying approximately a human torso. So let's just say you have a hat bigger than your body, or about the same size as your current body.
And also
beautiful.
Okay, pull the string right here. Pull the string right here. Some binders come down, and also a little tube. And if you blow in a tube, that's a bud whistle.
A what?
Bud whistle. I thought it'd be kind of whimsical.
This is the most Rufa-eyes goblin that ever exists.
I was gonna say, the fact that this goblin has Rufa's lion or a cheetah print hat is amazing.
I'm gonna approach with some coffee in my hand and just look at Eloise and say, "Well, I can safely say you are no less terrifying than you were before."
And also, you can hide octopus in back compartment of hat.
But he likes to see things.
Oh, that's why you had the little peek hole right there. Right there. See, little peephole. Right at the tippity top.
And I want to say, the minute she steps into this thing, it is scary. Everything. It's almost like a goblin just kind of came to being right there. It's as goblin as you can be. Matthias has his coffee. And Leon Tari is still bugging Chionubis for an order, because technically speaking, you are. Look at me. You are the commander now.
You are the captain now.
Yeah, you are the commander now.
Is he going with me, or is he staying here with you?
She stretches and stands up, and she's like, "Oh God." He can go with you?
I mean, I can go and say that we were attacked, and that the stragglers are coming, or something happened, and something happened to our dude, our Leontari,
Leo.
And yeah, I can say that something happened to him, so they take me to whoever made him, so we can get him fixed, and and then if we need to, I can bring him back if he can pretend to act broken, maybe.
I think he already is.
No, he's okay. They're okay. But I think maybe if we say that someone attacked us and they wrecked our unit, maybe they'll take me to the person they wrecked our new unit. Maybe they'll take me to the guy so I can get repair stuff for him.
You want to take this on your own?
I mean, my worry is that he's going to see a commanding officer and decide that facial recognition takes precedent over orders. Phew. Unless, like, they say they don't take prisoners. I don't know if I can bring a prisoner.
She's just gonna look at like Woodward and then Alona and Morel, like everyone, and just be like, I don't. It's too early for this. I haven't had coffee. I haven't had anything.
Are we all here for this conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Okay. Oh,
I would
I
imagine.
didn't move from where I was
wanted
getting dressed.
clarification. Says, kid, little one do head speak? You know, talking to in our head?
Yeah, but you
That
can't.
we keep line of communication that way, perhaps.
Well, I do know it does not go both ways.
It does. You just have to look at me.
But you could still talk to us without having to look at us?
That's what the book says.
Okay, okie dokie,
double-checked.
then perhaps you, while you are out there, you keep us updated with information,
I mean,
and yeah.
we could have, if someone thinks that they're really, like, sneaky or something, they can try to be as close to camp as possible as backup. But I don't have, like, I don't think they'll let me take in a prisoner.
Well, now that I know how this doohickey of yours works, I'm willing to try again, now that I know that I need to look at you.
Yeah, just if I go inside, either you also have to go inside or not. Because if you're there, I mean, then there's backup, and I can call for more backup. But
you do not have to see us to talk to us, right?
no, just for a return message.
Okay, then we do message relay.
How do
We
you
have-
guys talk?
We have little one go. If little one must go into cave or tent, you little one, you let our friend here know, and our friend here will let another one of us know, and we will relate that message back to the main group, like
So-
message relay.
So what we're saying is Eloise is going to go in with Big Orc Guy. They're going to try and find his creator, saying that he's broken. Matthias is going to sneak behind them, hopefully not be discovered, so that Eloise is in range enough with him to send a message, and then Matthias will come back to us.
No.
I thought-
I would say Matthias and one other go. Matthias let the one other know, and the one other will go to main group and let the main group know. Like message relay.
Also, I thought that the big guy was staying with all of y'all
Right,
because we're afraid of him turning on us right away.
Yeah.
right.
So my thought is, I will go in saying that our unit is broken and we're struggling to fix him because we were attacked, and see if I can get any supplies to fix whatever's wrong with the unit, and see if they'll take me to the creator. There should be someone nearby in case everything goes to crap, and then like I can send a message to anybody, but if somebody's nearby for reinforcement, I can then send another message to the rest of the group to call for the rest of the backup.
Okay.
Unless you guys think that do you want to flank the camp? Someone should stay with the big dude, and the big dude can't get too close.
Well, I was originally basically, I don't know if it came through, but was kind of suggesting kind of a, you know how that game Telephone is played?
Yep.
That was what I was suggesting basically.
Yeah, it's fine with me. We need to have a backup plan in case I'm not as charismatic or
I like the
deceptive
flanking
as
idea. I like your flanking idea best.
So we could have someone stay further back with the guy, and then everyone else kind of move in slightly closer around the camp, or at least like part of the camp.
Yeah.
Because we're at the quarry. We're going to the quarry, right?
Yeah.
Is it adapt
To the quarry.
Yes.
And
We
you're
don't know
also
if
your ability is that also because I'm trying to
it's
you could just
120
basically-
feet.
yeah. Okay, I was gonna say you can repeat every single thing that's being said around you, right?
From what the book says.
Cool.
Because I looked it up. It did
Hey.
not give me a cap.
And really fast, I will reiterate, you guys are going to the quarry by way of Camp 2. So you're going to swing through that camp on the way to the quarry. So as you're walking, in a little bit amount of time, you will be upon Camp 2.
So
This
camp
way-
2 is first.
This way, it'll be easier for you to maneuver without having to get basically a lot of problems going through a bunch of heavy forest. Yes, Rufa.
How many camps was there? Like, have
There
we taken out
were-
most of the camps now at this point?
You've taken out one camp, and you've taken out the new unit area. There's still 2 other camps, the quarry, and the other new unit far, far south.
So
So
we
the
took
camp-
out 2 out of 5.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're on your way. At least last we made the plan to make it easier for you to travel, especially with this big lug of fun. You're going from Camp 2 and then going south a small journey to the
Okay.
quarry.
And the
Okay.
camp is not one of the stations with the unit. It's just like the first one that we fought.
That is correct.
We did grab bomb-making materials and big spears, correct?
Yes.
I do recall there was some talk about that. I will make a note right now that is indeed what is being carried.
Great. So we can have big Leo Mongo Man throw the spears at the camp so we can decimate a camp on our way to the quarry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we just lay the first camp we come across flat,
Mm-hmm.
We
and
could
then move
also
on to the quarry.
Definitely.
Yeah, we could also, if we have enough bomb supplies, kind of when you guys set up a perimeter-ish, we could set up some bombs to go off to distract, like smaller ones. It's not necessarily enough to take out the camp, but enough to distract them if something goes wrong inside. Potentially.
Sure.
No matter what.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, should we also leave the updated notes and maps behind for Brother Dog?
We did.
Did we
Zashmaru?
do that?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
Woodward and everyone else kind of effectively
Yeah.
made that collective
Well, I was
thing.
thinking just like leaving like a little parcel by the log that he made the note of and my blank note.
Yeah, all that will be there, waiting for Zashmaru.
Uh-huh.
What I will say, I'm going to speed things up a bit because we're almost done, and I want to end on this one little note.
Cool.
You start to come, you're walking through the forest, and you can see about 30 feet down. So you're kind of have this moment of, oh crap, if I can see them, they can see us if we're not careful. You do see a camp just down the road a little bit. You can see there's a small smoke coming out of the campfire there. And everyone else give me a perception check.
Black smoke or
Also-
white smoke?
I think
Black
Casey
smoke.
was trying to say something.
I
just had
apologize.
One thing I wanted to say to Eloise, and I look to her and I say, well, no matter the plan, I shall not let you out of my sight. And I do this gesture to my chest. That's it.
Oh, good. Okay. That's really cool. I like that. Michael, yeah.
Do I take a -4 penalty because fatigue?
Yep.
Okay.
You're a little bleary-eyed.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter because I
check.
rolled really good.
What kind of check?
Perception.
Woodwork got a 15.
We got a 15. Nice.
16.
16. Excellent. Matthias.
25.
25. Nice. What do you got there,
I copy.
Sydney?
I got a rock. I got a 10.
All right.
Colors
What about what about you, Chionubis?
Nat 20.
Wow!
Yes. And
So
Number
cool.
5.
that's 5 nat 20s. My God.
With a -4 penalty, I still got 23.
Nice.
What?
Perception is my strength, actually, as an investigator.
So Amy, what was yours again?
What was mine? 16.
16. And Ian, what was your perception again?
I got a 15.
15. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do you two, and then I'm gonna do the 3 together. So you two, you look into this camp. You see very, very reduced military strength, if you will. You notice there's almost no camping materials there, maybe like one small little lean-to, and you see, whereas before there was a bunch of people, bombs, everything, you see there's 1 orc, 1 hobgoblin, and 3 goblins. The goblins look very bored. The hobgoblin looks like the way a mom looks when their children are too quiet off in the distance, like, nah, this is going to end badly. And the orc is looking over papers and just looking very frustrated, but just standing there and just kind of like looking up in the sky and being very bored. That's what you two see. Small numbers, almost nothing in this camp. Chionubis, Matthias, and Rufa. You notice something very interesting about deep back in this camp. As the smoke kind of dances in the morning air, showing you there's something burning in this campfire, you see what looks like an odd form standing still. As your eyes start to kind of cross through the smoke in the morning campfire, you see that this frame is tied to a tree with a rope around its neck, a rope inside of its mouth, binding it to the tree, torso and arms tied. You see a half-elf man with blonde hair, one little braid going down, and he seems to be bleeding profusely from the ropes tied around his body and what looks like a quilt of violence that has been stitched into his half-elf skin. His tunic in tatters, and if it wasn't for the ropes holding him to the tree by the mouth, the neck, and the torso, he'd probably be in the dirt. But he's still there. Still standing. So that being said, that is where we're going to end episode 5 of Edge of Legend.
5 nat 20s for episode 5.
5 nat 20 for 5.
Hey, I think you had 3 of those?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
So let's see if episode 6 we can get 6 nat 20s.
Let's just keep going, and then by the end, we just only wrote nat 20s.
Yeah.
Don't
That's the
jinx
rule now,
us.
right?
Well,
Yeah, our enemies will have to be like insane. Great.
there you go.
All right, so let's do a quick go around the batch and everything else. Tell them who you are, where we can find you, all that great stuff. Start with you, Casey.
All right, I'm Casey. I'm Matthias, the Rogue. I am Cased Crusader on all of the things, and I have a podcast called Talk Ready to Me, Baby, with Miss Amy and Eloise. So I don't know where she is in relation to me, but she's there. And those come up on Tuesdays. We've got a bit of a break, but we are going to be coming back, coming in hot, coming in fierce, and looking forward to that.
All right, Ian.
My name's Ian. I play Woodwort and roll for Mush. I've got nothing coming up as usual because I do nothing but this. But I'm excited to be back here next week.
Yeah, Sidney.
Anyway, hi, I'm Sidney. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Sidney Rubino, which is in my little Max thing. Every Tuesday morning, I upload a video to YouTube that is me reading fairy tales for moms, dogs, and kids. So if you're one of those or not and want to enjoy a fairy tale, you can hop over to my YouTube channel, which is just my name.
Very nice. Amy, hit us with those deets.
Hi, I'm Amy. I am also part of that Talk Nerdy to Me Baby podcast thing that he talked about. I do also YouTube things. If you go to Amory by the Sea, anywhere on the internet, you will find all the things that I make. And it was a pleasure to be here. Thanks for coming.
Yay! Yay! All right, Mr. Powell. Oh, you're muted.
Keep forgetting that. Like I said, I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the interwebs, such as my Instagram and Twitch, which are both at Mr. Kapao. That's MRKAPAO. And also my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because, well, I do a lot of stuff. And tomorrow I will be streaming on Toyzilla for Toyzilla Live. It's a toy and nostalgia show. We're going to be talking about, well, what we're doing during quarantine, and one of the things we're trying to do also is shine a light on small businesses that are going online. So if you have a small business that is pretty much online based right now, drop us a line and we'll give a shout out.
Very, very nice. And Kylie.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I played Chionubis, the very apologetic ranger tonight. Similar to Ian, I don't do much, but here's my Kai's Wonderful Life, where you can see me doing past things currently. But yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is PJ Megaw. I'm everywhere on the internet as pj.megaw, and on Twitter is _Mega_W, but I don't go on Twitter anymore because I suck. And when I'm not here entertaining you guys, I hope it's entertaining and making a great show with all my friends, some truly amazing people. I'm picking things up and putting them down again because I like the gym. I'm that guy. Yeah, but also just working on other projects, and when I have them, I'll let you know. But until then, we are looking forward to seeing you here for episode 6 next week of Edge of Legend. I want to give another shout out again to Punch and Crawl and the Dottie Network. I hope you guys are here next week. I'm loving you guys, supporting solidarity for the Paizo streaming community. And we'll see you here, same Nat 20 time, Nat 20 channel for Edge of Legend next week.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming.
See you guys.
And thank you for all the manga stuff. And Lost Thoughts, you were awesome. I loved you, Lost Thoughts, you were great. And
Reap Psych.
Keyword and Reap Psych, it was good to see you guys as usual. Trigger Chan.
Yes.
Thanks for making it. I know that it was a trouble.
Yep. And Key Calamity, always love what you got to do. It's good. And thanks to the people who hosted us tonight. You were amazing. Thank you so much for the host.
Yes, thank you, Angelique.
Yes. Woo.
Thanks, Angelique, for the raid.
Yes.
Yes,
Thanks
thank you
to
so
our
much.
wonderful mod who's doing such a great
Yes.
job.
Oh, being our hero.
Not ever.
All right,
We
we
do
are
love
heading
it.
out, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Okay.
We're
Okay,
staying
bye.
so
I love you.
long.
Sleep.